Chapter 47:47. The attack was indeed powerful. It was even more powerful than some of the geniuses from the remote antiquity families in Taiching ancient city. However, it was nothing in front of Lin Xian and the others. The toad jumped out and said, "How dare you compete with me? Go to hell." He slapped out with his palm. Boom! The sound of thunder rang out. Then, a figure was sent flying, and the Tao light between heaven and earth shattered. The genius from the heavenly saber mansion flew out of the White Crane Tower. Did someone make a move? The people on the other floors of the White Crane Tower were stunned. They looked over in surprise. It was the heavenly saber mansion. Who did they fight with? The Nalan family? Interesting. These two forces had a grudge against each other before. Discussions broke out one after another. Obviously, someone made a move in the White Crane Tower. No one was surprised. It seemed like the martial arts in Holy Abyss Ancient City was more prosperous. They could make a move at any time. The people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion were stunned. They didn't expect a toad to be so powerful. The White Crane Tower was a place where countless geniuses gathered. If they lost face here, it would spread throughout Holy Abyss Ancient City. At that time, the Heavenly Saber Mansion would become a laughing stock. Lan Tsang narrowed his eyes. "You have some strength. No wonder you dare to fight with me. Tell me your identity. Let's see if you have the qualifications to be my opponent." Nalan Liang, who are they? Shi Changfeng also roared. Nalan Liang was also confused. To be honest, he didn't know who these people were. He only knew that they were fierce. "We came from Taiching Ancient City. As for our true identity, you don't have the qualifications to know." The toad snorted. So they came from Taiching Ancient City. The surrounding people were shocked. The people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion frowned. Lan Tsang nodded. Taiching Ancient City was also an ancient city. There were countless geniuses, but it was still lacking compared to Holy Abyss Ancient City. "So, you can show off in Taiching Ancient City. But in Holy Abyss Ancient City, even a dragon has to lie down in front of me." He flapped the folding fan in his hand with supreme confidence. F*CKU. The Crimson Dragon was enraged and roared. The dragon roars of the 9 heavens 10 earths rang out. Everyone's chi and blood surged, their faces filled with horror. What a powerful bloodline suppression. The faces of the people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion turned pale as they retreated a few steps. Even Lan Tsang's expression changed. "That's right. I'm a member of the Dragon Clan. Didn't you say that you wanted me to lie down? I want to see what qualifications you have to make me lie down in front of you." A cold killing intent appeared in the Crimson Dragon's eyes. He waved his hand and slapped forward. "Damn it! You dare to attack me?" Lan Tsang shouted angrily. However, it was useless. The Crimson Dragon was the young master of the dragon race in the Black Sea. Countless people respected him. No one dared to provoke him. The Crimson Dragon didn't care about a clan of the ancients. When the people of the Heavenly Saber Manor saw this scene, they shouted angrily, "Quickly protect young Master Lan Tsang." 5 figures pulled out their long sabers and charged toward the Crimson Dragon. Divine Dragon Finger. Heaven Transformation Palm. With a finger, the sky was destroyed. On the other side, the Dragon Claw turned into a sky and pressed down. This was the ultimate technique of the Dragon Clan. The people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion were forced to retreat, their chi and blood surging. Shi Changfeng roared and rushed to the back of the Crimson Divine Dragon. "You dare to sneak attack?" The toad roared and spat out poisonous fog that covered the sky, enveloping Shi Changfeng. Shi Changfeng unleashed a monstrous saber light to defend himself. At the same time, he roared again. From the other floors of the White Crane Mansion, more people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion walked out. When these people saw this, they pulled out their long sabers and walked over. More than 10 people surrounded the Crimson Dragon and the others. Nalan Liang sighed. "Damn, so many people came this time." Although Lin Xian and the others were powerful, there were too many of them. With a difference of 10 times, they might not be able to gain any advantage. Therefore, he said, "Lin Gongzi, why don't you leave quickly? A wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him." Lin Xian smiled. "Leave? Why should I leave? What's the use of having more people? They're just a bunch of ants." With that, his figure flashed and he walked forward. His target was not the people from the heavenly saber mansion, but Lansong. Lansong sneered. In his opinion, he didn't need to do anything to deal with these people. The people from the heavenly saber mansion could deal with them. But in the next moment, his vision blurred, and he saw a figure appear in front of them. "You're courting death. How dare you attack me?" Lansong was furious. He waved his fan. This attack was accompanied by a terrifying frost that froze the world. Lin Xian was instantly frozen. There were hundreds of ice crystals on his body. Seeing this, Lansong sneered. "An ant is an ant. How can you fight me?" Before he could finish his words, he saw the hundreds of ice crystals in front of him shatter. A palm grabbed at his head. He quickly retreated and disappeared. However, no matter how he shuttled through the void, the palm easily grabbed his head. In the next moment, a terrifying sword chi surged into his body, shattering his strength and meridians. At the same time, Lin Xian's voice rang out. "Everyone stop. Otherwise, this young Master Lan will lose his life." Hearing this voice, everyone was stunned. The people from the heavenly saber mansion turned their heads, and their faces turned pale. They didn't expect that there would be someone who could suppress young Master Lansong. Shi Chongfeng was even more furious. "Kid, let go of young Master Lansong quickly. Otherwise, you're dead meat." Lin Xian looked around and smiled faintly. "You want to save my life? Fine. You people from the heavenly saber mansion can kneel down and beg me. If I'm in a good mood, I can consider letting him go." What an arrogant kid. The expressions of the surrounding people became very interesting. Those who were able to come here were all geniuses and experts from their families. At this moment, they were all investigating the purpose of these people. However, after looking around, they realized that there was no such person in Holy Abyss Ancient City. As expected, they came from Taiching Ancient City. They didn't know which family or sect they were from. "Damn it, are you kidding me?" Shi Chongfeng roared. As the geniuses of the heavenly saber sect, how could they kneel down to others? "You're not willing." The toad also laughed. "You were so respectful to him before. I thought he was your father." "Damn toad, what did you say?" The people from the heavenly saber mansion shouted angrily. The toad sent a slap over. "What did I say? You're not convinced? You still dare to dodge? If you dodge again, I'll get my companions to crush your head. Let's see if you dodge or not." The face of the person from the heavenly saber mansion turned black. In the next moment, he was slapped to the ground by the toad. Next, the toad and the crimson dragon attacked again. The remaining people from the heavenly saber sect were all slapped to the ground. The strength of the two was so strong that the faces of those people were smashed. Some of their bodies were torn apart. They were seriously injured. "Damn it!" Shi Chongfeng wanted to roar, but the crimson dragon smashed all his teeth with a slap. Then, his body was split into two. Chapter 47-48. The toad held the other party's saber and laughed. "Aren't you very powerful? Are you looking down on us? Fight back." As he spoke, he slashed out again. Shi Chongfeng was about to go crazy. When had he ever been suppressed like this? "Damn it!" He roared in anger. However, Lansong roared in front of him. He could feel Lin Xian's killing intent. He didn't want to be torn apart. The people from the Sky Saber sect stopped and retreated with killing intent. However, Lansong said, "All right, my friends, it was my fault before. I have offended you all, but this time, your anger has dissipated. Can you let me go? I promise that our grudge will be written off." "Written off?" Lin Xian laughed after hearing this. "What right do you have to say such words to me?" Lansong's pupils constricted. Is the other party still unwilling to give up? His face was gloomy as he gritted his teeth and said, "Brother, you have already offended the people from the Sky Saber Manor. If you attack me again, you will offend our Blue Clan. There will be no place for you in the entire Holy Abyss Ancient City." "Threatening me?" Lin Xian sneered and waved his hand. Immediately, the other party's bones cracked and many of them broke. Lansong's face became extremely ugly. He gritted his teeth so hard that they were about to shatter. "Damn it, the other party isn't afraid of my threat." Just when he thought that he was finished, a voice came from outside the White Crane Tower. "Let's see who dares to make a move." Then, a few figures walked in. Everyone turned their heads and realized that the auras of these people were abnormally strong, especially the leader. "Brother Baijin, save me." Lan Song seemed to have seen hope. The surrounding people exclaimed, "Baijin, he's Baijin from the Tao sect." Many people sucked in a breath of cold air. Lin Xian walked over with a frown. It seemed that the people from the Tao sect had come. Baijin walked over with the people from the Tao sect. He looked around and frowned slightly. Then, he looked at Lin Xian and said coldly, "Kid, let them go." There was a command in his words. However, to everyone's surprise, Lin Xian had no intention of letting them go. He asked coldly, "Who are you? Were they from the blue race?" "I'm not." "What right do you have to meddle in my affairs? Get lost." Lin Xian sneers previously. The heavenly saber manner and Lan Song relied on their powerful identities to bully and suppress them. They even wanted them to kowtow and kneel. How could Lin Xian let these people off? Now, another person had appeared and directly ordered him to release them? Who does he think he is? Baijin's face darkened. "Seems like you're really ignorant." "I'm from the Tao sect." Lin Xian smiled. "So what if it was the Tao sect? You just came a few years earlier. Now that I'm here, I can also easily join the Tao sect. This identity doesn't scare me." Countless people were shocked. It seemed like this group of people was here to participate in the Tao sect's test. Baijin was taken aback. Then, he smiled. It seemed that this was a top-notch genius from another place. He was very confident. However, "So what if you have joined the Tao sect?" "I am a member of the Tao sect's Dragon Palace." In his eyes, there was a strong confidence. Some of the genius disciples in the Tao sect could form their own forces. The Dragon Palace was one of them. Moreover, it was the strongest force because the founder of the Dragon Palace was the son of the Dragon Emperor. In the Tao sect, other than the elders, who would dare to go against the Dragon Palace? That was courting death. Dragon Palace. Hearing this name, the Crimson Dragon's pupils constricted. A cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. It was actually related to that Long Wu. Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. He didn't expect to meet someone from the Dragon Palace so soon. They were really arrogant. "Kid, I advise you to obediently let them go. I'm not someone you can provoke. The blue race is also not someone you can provoke. This Lan Song's brother is also a genius of the Dragon Palace. Therefore, the outcome of offending us will be very miserable." "Is that so? If you had other identities, then I would really let them go. But the Dragon Palace? It's a pity that I won't let them go. As for the reason, it's very simple. This guy said that he's very strong, and even a dragon has to lie down in front of him. I really want to know, how will your Dragon Palace people deal with this?" Baijin's expression changed. A biting cold light appeared in his eyes as he stared at Lan Song. "You said that?" Lan Song was about to cry. Previously, he was just making a metaphor. Who would have thought that the other party would take it seriously? Furthermore, if these words were to spread to the Dragon Palace, he would be dead for sure. Although his brother was also a member of the Dragon Palace, he couldn't save him because the founder of the Dragon Palace was a member of the Dragon Clan. What a reckless thing. "Big brother Baijin, I was wrong. I am willing to accept the punishment. Please save me," Baijin said coldly. "If he did something wrong, our Dragon Palace would punish him. You don't have the qualifications." "Is that so? Then what if I make a move?" Lin Xian coldly snorted. With a wave of his hand, an endless amount of sword qi enveloped Lan Song. Lan Song let out a miserable scream. He wanted to escape, but his soul was instantly destroyed. Is he dead? The surrounding people were all stunned. They couldn't believe it. That was a genius of the Blue Clan. He was actually killed in one move. Was this a slap to the Blue Clan's face? Furthermore, Lan Song's brother was from the Dragon Palace. Baijin was here, representing the Dragon Palace. He wanted to release him, but the other party didn't. Was this a challenge to the Dragon Palace? Where did this ferocious person come from? He was too strong. The people of the Heavenly Blade Manor were terrified. They were about to kneel down. What kind of demon king did they provoke? Many people trembled, and Baijin's pupils constricted. You actually killed him? He was really angry. What, do you want to avenge him? I'll give you a chance. Lin Xian looked at Baijian, his body emitting an extremely terrifying sword Dao aura. He was like a peerless sword god. Baijian's face was cold. This guy was able to kill Lan Song in one move. He was very strong, and he didn't even know who the other party was. Who the hell are you? My name is Lin Xian, and I come from Taiching Ancient City. If you want revenge, then do it. Otherwise, scram. Lin Xian. Countless people were shocked as they recalled this name. Someone said, which clan of the ancients was it? A peerless sect? It didn't seem like it. They had never heard of such a top genius. Moreover, what he used before wasn't that kind of family's secret technique. At this moment, someone exclaimed, I remember now. Some time ago, Taiching Ancient City could be said to be surging like a storm. The heavenly court appeared, and the purple mansion appeared. Later, the purple mansion was severely damaged, and the Wind clan was also attacked. It seemed that there was a young man called Lin Xian among them. They naturally paid attention to the matters of Taiching Ancient City. After all, it was also the primeval city. It was very terrifying. Although it was very far from Holy Abyss Ancient City, the news still spread. They knew about the Heavenly Court and the Purple Mansion. They also knew that there was a key person in these matters called Lin Xian. Chapter 47-49. It can't be, right? That Lin Xian is said to be very terrifying. Would he come here? It's hard to say. Discussions broke out one after another. Baijian furrowed his brows and asked coldly, You're the legendary Lin Xian? That's right. It's me. Lin Xian said proudly. The surrounding people were in an uproar. They all widened their eyes. It's really him. This guy had stirred up a storm in Taiching Ancient City. What's so special about him? The people from Heavenly Blade Manor felt their scalps go numb. It turned out to be such a terrifying guy. They regretted it now because they had kicked an iron plate. Baijian's face was gloomy. But soon, he snorted coldly. Kid, so it's you. Do you think you can be arrogant here because you can do whatever you want in Taiching Ancient City? Let me tell you, you're too naive. This is Holy Abyss Ancient City. It's not a place you can imagine. Besides, if you're really that person, then you should be the person from the immortal graveyard that the Purple Mansion mentioned. You have no future at all. Although you're about the same as us and are all top geniuses, we can continue to advance and reach the great sage realm or even higher. But you'll only be a sage king for the rest of your life. Today is your peak. From now on, you'll be going downhill. What right do you have to compete with us? Many people around nodded. That's right. There had been 2 people from the immortal graveyard since ancient times. Even if they were top geniuses, they still died without a burial ground. There was nothing to look forward to from such a person. Baijian naturally knew that, so he didn't care about it. He sneered. A person like you isn't qualified to enter the Dao sect. Countless people were in an uproar. Baijian said that. Was there really no hope for this kid? At that moment, another loud laughter rang out. The Dao sect doesn't want him, but the Heaven sect does. Then, a group of people walked down from the upper floor. These people were wearing cloud robes. They had an imposing appearance and were extraordinarily mighty. As they walked down, the surrounding energy of heaven and earth boiled. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. Some people exclaimed that they were from the Heaven sect. The leader was actually Junimo. Even Baijian frowned. This Junimo wasn't simple. In fact, his strength was even stronger than his own. However, he wasn't afraid. Snorting coldly, Baijian smiled and said, What? You want this kind of trash? The Sky sect had truly declined. Junimo Xiao said, A piece of trash? Could it set off an unparalleled storm? Baijian, don't deceive yourself and others. Although he had no future, he was still a top-notch expert. There were so many people from the Heavenly Saber Manor, yet they could not take him down. After he finished speaking, he looked at Lin Xian, his eyes shining with starlight. He smiled and said, You can come to the Sky sect to take the test. With your strength, I guarantee that you will pass. Everyone was astonished. It seemed that the Heaven sect thought highly of this person. Lin Xian also looked at him and nodded. Junimo smiled. Don't be in such a hurry to thank me. If you are Lin Xian, then I heard that you obtained an extremely terrifying weapon in the Heavenly Court called the Heaven Swallowing Jar. Why don't you take it out and let us have a look? It was said that the heaven-devouring jar was an extreme weapon. I wonder if the rumors are true or false. As soon as these words were said, everyone exclaimed again, and their eyes turned red. The heaven-devouring jar was a legendary item. Did this kid really obtain it? Lin Xian's face also darkened. He originally thought that the other party was sincerely helping him, but now it seemed that was not the case. The other party was only after the heaven-devouring jar. Thinking of this, he said indifferently, "Looking at you, you should be a very powerful genius in the Sky Sect. Thinking about it, you should have cultivated the ultimate techniques of the Sky Sect. Why don't you give me a copy of your ultimate technique and let me have a look?" Jun Mo's face darkened. The people from the Sky Sect snorted coldly. "How dare you? Who do you think you are? You haven't even entered the Sky Sect yet, and you want to see our ultimate technique?" Killing intent appeared between heaven and earth. The toad snorted coldly. "Why? You're not willing? Then who do you think you are? Do we know you? Why should we show you our heaven-devouring jar?" The two sides confronted each other, and the faces of the people from the Sky Sect turned ugly. Junimo said coldly, "Young man, I am sincerely helping you. Are you sure you want to refuse me?" Lin Xian said coldly, "Sincerely helping me? If you really wanted to help me, you wouldn't say such things. Who else told you that I wanted to join the Sky Sect? I have no interest in the Sky Sect at all. This time, I am here to join the True Path Sect." "What did you say?" Junimo was also angry this time, and a fierce killing intent appeared in his eyes. Was the other party looking down on the Sky Sect? Damn it. The Sky Sect disciples were all filled with killing intent. The surrounding people were also shocked. This Lin Xian was really too arrogant. In an instant, he had offended 2 out of the 3 major orthodoxies. Did he have a way out in the future? I think he can't even enter a single orthodoxy. Someone sneered. Baijian also laughed. "Junimo, looks like this guy doesn't appreciate your kindness. But kid, since you have offended both the Sky Sect and the True Path Sect, let's see how you will proceed from here." Lin Xian also laughed. "You think too highly of yourself. You are just a disciple of the True Path Sect. Do you think you can represent the True Path Sect? You can't stop me from finding the path I want." Lin Xian's eyes were filled with confidence. Was he being looked down on? Baijian was going crazy. He was from the Dragon Palace. Who would dare to look down on him? "Good kid, keep being stubborn. I want to see how you will enter the True Path Sect later." Baijian turned to leave, but after taking a few steps, he stopped and turned back, a cold smile on his face. "Oh right, I forgot to tell you. This time, the True Path Sect's assessment will be hosted by the Dragon Palace. And I am also one of the participants. When the time comes, I want to see how you will pass through my hands." After saying that, he laughed and left with his men. "Stupid thing. There is a path to heaven. You can go to hell by yourself." Junimo snorted and left with his people. Countless people were in an uproar. "It's over. This kid is dead." This time, he had offended the Dragon Palace by offending Baijian. How can this kid pass the assessment hosted by the Dragon Palace? The Crimson Dragon also frowned. "The situation is not good." Lin Xian laughed. "Don't worry. Even heaven and earth can't stop our path, let alone a mere Dragon Palace." Lin Xian's voice rang out in the White Crane Tower. Everyone was shocked. Is this the person who has stirred up a storm in Taiching City? He is too confident. Ancestors, hurry up and leave. Nalan Liang walked over and asked Lin Xian and the rest to leave. He booked a mansion in the ancient city and apologized to everyone. "It's all because of me that you have offended the Dragon Palace. I'm sorry. Looks like you don't have a chance this time. Wait for the next time." Chapter 4750. You can also participate in the Earth Sex Assessment. Of course, I'll compensate you for your losses. Lin Xian smiled and shook his head. "It's okay. You don't have to blame yourself because we're here for the Dragon Palace. Even without you, we'll fight the Dragon Palace one day." Nalan Liang was dumbfounded. Were these people here to make fun of him? Did they know how terrifying the Dragon Palace was? The founder of the Dragon Palace was the Dragon Prince. Who could resist the son of the Dragon Emperor? Other than the other princes, no one could. No matter how strong Lin Xian and the others were, they wouldn't even be a match for a finger of the Dragon Palace. Lin Xian didn't explain much. He looked at the Crimson Dragon and said, "It seems that the people of the Dragon Palace are not only arrogant, but also have many experts. We'd better not reveal our true identities for the time being. Otherwise, they'll take action immediately." This identity is to hide that they are from the Black Sea's dragon tribe. The Crimson Dragon nodded and said, "I understand." For the next few days, Lin Xian and the others stayed in the mansion temporarily. Nalan Liang went to the White Crane restaurant to buy a lot of delicacies and brought them back. They were familiar with each other after a few days of interaction. Although Nalan Liang was a little timid, he was indeed a good person. Lin Xian felt that it was good to be friends with him. Finally, they woke up early in the morning. Today was the day of the grand ceremony. Let's go and see how divine the legendary Kuan Pengzi is. The group left the mansion and walked towards the Holy Gulf Tower. At this moment, the Holy Gulf Tower stood above the 9 heavens. Countless people had already gathered around it. They weren't ordinary people, but experts. Other than the Holy Gulf ancient city, there were many experts from other places in the continent. There were even many great sages. They wanted to witness this miracle. At the front were some disciples of the heavenly sect. Junimo and the others were also there. At this moment, they raised their heads as if they were victorious. They were overjoyed. This was the glory of the heavenly sect. The 3 great orthodoxies were allies, but there were also many conflicts between them. After all, everyone wanted to be above the other 2 great orthodoxies. In the past, the 3 great inheritances all had this type of grand occasion where someone was crowned as a king. However, in the recent 3,000 years, no one could be crowned again. Now, Kuan Pengzi had appeared and reached the peak in the shortest amount of time. These 2 sects were extremely excited. Everyone knew that this was only the first coronation. With Kuan Pengzi's strength, there would definitely be a second and third coronation. On the other side were the people from the Dao sect. They had also arrived. At this moment, the faces of the people from the Dao sect were solemn because they felt that their limelight had been stolen. The True Path sect had the most dazzling genius, the Dragon Prince. His status and bloodline were no weaker than the Kuan Ping's. It was just that he woke up a little later. At first, they thought that the Dragon Prince might be able to improve by leaps and bounds and be the first to be crowned. But now, it seemed that they were still one step behind him. The feeling of being suppressed by others was really too unpleasant. Opposite them were the people from the Earth sect. The people from the Earth sect were very calm. Because of this incident, they had already given up on participating and competing for the throne. It was not that the Earth sect was weak. The last coronation ceremony 3,000 years ago was the people from the Earth sect. However, this time, there were 2 princes from the Dao sect and the Heaven sect, so the Earth sect could not compete. In addition to the people from the 3 great inheritances, the other ancient families and great sects were all here. There were many people from the Taiching ancient city, including the Light Clan and the Sacred Clan. The people from the Pill Cauldron sect were also here. Even the people from the Gu Clan and the Longevity Hall, who were near Mount Eternal, were here. The people from the Yi Clan were also here. The people from the Purple Mansion were also here. These people were all here to watch the coronation ceremony. Once the princes appeared, they would stir up a storm. No one could ignore them. Lin Xian and the others were also here. They looked at the people from the Purple Mansion and the Wind Clan in front of them. They kept it a secret. Now, he only wanted to join the Dao sect and compete with the Dragon Palace. It would be best if he could kill the Dragon Prince. Therefore, he did not want to be attacked by the magistrate and the others. Moreover, there were too many people here. The people from the Purple Mansion were all looking at the Sacred Gulf Tower in front of them. They all wanted to see the princes, so no one paid attention to the crowd. Whitey held the spirit fruit and exclaimed, "Ah, there are so many people here." The toad also said, "I wonder when Kuan Pengzi will come." When the sun hung high in the sky, a figure walked in front of the Sacred Gulf Tower. It was an old man. He was the Grand Elder of the Heaven sect. At this moment, he was very happy. He looked at the 8 barren lands and smiled. "Thank you all for coming from all over the world to attend this coronation ceremony. This time, Bei Ming of the Heaven Sect has successfully reached the top of the sacred Gulf Tower and been crowned as the King of the Crown. After that, an expert from the sacred Gulf Tower also walked over with a crown in his hand. He released a terrifying aura. At the same time, the clouds in the sky changed. A figure like a god-fiend descended from the sky with a terrifying yin and yang aura. Everyone felt a wave of pressure, as if their blood vessels had frozen. So powerful. Is this the bloodline of the princes? It's really terrifying. Countless people were shocked. In the crowd, the Crimson Dragon's bloodline let out a low roar. Lin Xian did the same. The great dragon sword soul seemed to want to break through the sky. However, it was suppressed by the two of them. Now was not the time to fight. Lin Xian's eyes emitted a golden light as he looked forward. The yin and yang aura was so terrifying. Is this the princes? The Crimson Dragon said that the Kuanpeng had two forms, and it controlled the yin and yang laws of the world. It could be said that it was extremely powerful. Lin Xian took a deep breath. He also had the yin and yang laws, and he cultivated the Tai Chi art. He wondered how it would compare to the other party's great emperor bloodline. Lin Xian felt a hot battle intent. Next, it was the coronation. The expert of the Sacred Origin Tower personally placed the crown on Bei Ming's head. On Bei Ming's back, there were black and white wings that emitted a terrifying yin and yang aura. He was like a supreme god king, accepting everyone's worship at this moment. At the same time, another statue appeared in the main hall of the Sacred Gulf Tower. It was a statue of Bei Ming. At the same time, Bei Ming's name would be engraved on the Sacred Gulf Tower. Congratulations, Kuanpeng Zi. Congratulations, Tianzong. The surrounding clan of the ancients and the peerless sects sent experts to congratulate them. The gifts alone were piled up like a mountain. At this moment, it seemed that Tianzong was the only one among the three great orthodoxies. Looking at this scene, Lin Xian clenched his fists. One day, he would also reach the peak. Just as countless people were worshipping, a terrifying power suddenly erupted between heaven and earth. Immediately after, the roar of thousands of dragons was heard. Countless people were shocked and looked up at the sky. What happened? Chapter 47:51. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon's expressions also changed. They felt that the bloodlines in their bodies seemed to be about to erupt. It was a powerhouse of the dragon race. The two of them looked at each other. To be able to make their bloodlines so uneasy, could it be? The people of the Path sect raised their heads, and the people of the Dragon Palace exclaimed. It was the prince. The people of the Sky sect were also in an uproar. Dark North wore a crown on his head and looked up at the sky. His black and white eyes pierced through the 9 heavens. A figure appeared from the void. He was wearing a dragon robe. His face was handsome, and there were tens of thousands of dragons floating around him. It was as if the Dragon Emperor had come out, and he was extremely powerful. Who was this person? How terrifying. The people from the other cities were shocked. Why did they feel that this person's aura was not weaker than Kuanpeng's at all? The people of Holy Abyss Ancient City exclaimed. It was him. The Dragon Prince had really come. Previously, they didn't see the Dragon Prince in the Path sect and thought that he wouldn't come. Who would have thought that he would come at the last moment? Kuanpeng Zi looked at the sky and said indifferently, You're too late. Dark North, don't be arrogant. I was in seclusion before, so I didn't break through to the peak. I didn't expect you to beat me to it. However, if we really compete, I might not lose to you. Do you dare to fight? The Dragon Prince snorted coldly. Tens of thousands of dragons gathered, forming a dragon spear that suppressed heaven and earth. The long spear pointed downward, and the dragon aura on his body continued to erupt. At this moment, the 9 heavens and 10 lands were collapsing. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Could it be that a war was about to break out? Was there going to be a peak battle between the two princes? This guy was too strong. The toad exclaimed. The Crimson Dragon's eyes were filled with extremely cold killing intent. Was this the Dragon Prince? He was the one who killed Long Guang. He was also the target of his killing intent. Lin Xian's expression was also solemn. Although he had entered the dragon tomb before and obtained the divine dragon blood, he still felt the suppression from the bloodline when facing the prince. The great dragon's sword soul in his body also let out a ferocious roar to destroy this aura. Too strong. Lin Xian clenched his fists. The imperial prince's bloodline surpassed everything. It was stronger than anyone he had ever seen. In fact, his bloodline and physique were vastly superior to that of Leaf Daudinier, Radiance, and the others. However, he was not afraid. One day, he would trample the other party beneath his feet. Thinking of this, he reached out a hand and pressed down on the crimson dragon, suppressing the aura of the way of the dragon in its body. Don't get too excited, now is not the time. In front of them, Kuan Pengzi's black and white wings flapped behind his back. Yin and Yang Qi condensed, and at the same time, a terrifying extreme Dao bloodline appeared. The clash of the bloodlines of the two princes was like a battle between two great emperors. The Sky Sect's people's expressions changed. The Sky Sect's great elders said no. Today was their moment of glory. How could they allow others to disturb them? Kuan Pengzi waved his hand and stopped the first elder. Then he looked at the sky and said coldly, "Long Wu, you're too late. You're already behind me. The current you is no longer qualified for me to make a move." "What did you say?" Dragon Prince roared. 10,000 dragons roared. Was the other party looking down on him? A wisp of killing intent appeared on his body, piercing through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Kuan Pengzi said coldly, "If you want to fight me, you'll have to reach the peak of the Holy Gulf Tower first and come back after you've been crowned." "Fine, just you wait. When I'm crowned, it will be the time of your death." The Dragon Prince withdrew his dragon spear, then turned around, broke through the void, and left. They didn't fight? Countless people sighed. But they also understood that the meaning of the battle between the two princes was too different. Perhaps they would have to wait until the coronation of the Dragon Prince, and then they would have to fight. "Let's go." Lin Xian left with the Crimson Dragon, Little White, and the others. There was no need to watch what happened next. Today, he had come to witness the glory of the two princes. He had already seen it. He felt the pressure. He wanted to break through again. He wanted to enter the True Path sect first, and then climb the Holy Gulf Tower. He wanted to reach the peak too. When Nalan Liang returned to his residence, he realized that Lin Xian and the others were already cultivating. He exclaimed, "You guys are here so early?" The event had just ended. Lin Xian opened his eyes and said, "What happened next is too boring. We're going to prepare ourselves for the upcoming test. Are you guys really going to join the Dao sect?" Nalan Liang's face changed. He said, "Baijian has already said that this time, the Dragon Palace will be hosting. He will definitely target you guys. When the time comes, not only will you fail, your life might even be in danger. I've already made up my mind. You don't have to persuade me anymore. You have to prepare well. Otherwise, you'll really become the laughing stock of the family." Hearing this, Nalan Liang sighed. "Maybe I really can't enter the Dao sect with my talent. If I can't do it this time, I don't plan to participate. Anyway, my family is very strong." Lin Xian said, "Don't be discouraged. When the time comes, follow me. I guarantee that you'll pass." The heroes thanked him. Nalan Liang smiled. He didn't take it seriously, because in his opinion, Lin Xian and the others had offended Baijian. It was impossible for them to pass. He didn't have much hope. Lin Xian smiled too. Without saying anything, he closed his eyes again. A few days later, they were all in peak condition. Some of the people who came to participate in the Holy Abyss ancient city had already left and returned to other parts of the world. At the same time, some of them stayed because the test of the 3 orthodoxies was about to begin. While everyone was talking about the coronation, they were also preparing anxiously. Finally, on this day, Lin Xian opened his eyes. He and the Crimson Dragon set off for the Dao sect again. The Holy Abyss ancient city was very big. It was almost the size of a country. The Dao sect was in the east of the ancient city. Along the way, they saw many people flying in that direction. They were probably here to participate in the test. Among them, Nalan Liang met some familiar faces. It was obvious that some of the losers were here again. Lin Xian was also looking around. Suddenly, he stopped and looked in a direction. There was a figure over there. He was flying very fast. However, he wasn't flying towards the east. Instead, he was flying towards the south. Lin Xin shouted, "Wu Dao!" The figure in front stopped and turned around. There were a few figures beside Yi Wu Dao. They stopped as well. They were puzzled. "What's wrong with Brother Yi?" Yi Wu Dao said that he saw an old friend. His body flashed and he flew forward. The people beside him followed. Yi Wu Dao came to Lin Xin and smiled. "You're really here. How is it? Have you decided which orthodoxy you want to join?" Lin Xin smiled. He said, "I'm going to the Dao sect." "What about you?" Yi Wu Dao said, "Heaven sect. My goal is Kuan Zi. More or less. My goal is the Dragon Prince." The two looked at each other and smiled. "Time is running out. We'll split up first. I'll wait for your good news." Lin Xin waved his hand. Yi Wu Dao said, "We'll meet again at the Saint Origin Tower." The two of them flew in different directions. The young disciple beside Yi Wu Dao asked, "Brother Yi, who is he? How dare he target the Dragon Prince?" Chapter 4752. The Dragon Prince was an imperial prince. Yi Wu Dao had the sacred body of the ancients, which was why he dared to have such a goal. Who was the other party? His name is Lin Xin, and he's no weaker than me. In fact, he might even be a bit stronger. The young geniuses around him could not believe it. Stronger than Yi Wu Dao? When they heard the name Lin Xin, they all gasped. It turned out that he was the one who stirred up a storm in Taiching Ancient City. They did not expect that even such a person would come to support the ancient city. Lin Xin continued to fly. During this time, he met some people, such as Guang Ming from the Light Clan. He also had the body of the ancients. It seemed that he also wanted to compete here. I wonder which place he wants to join. In fact, it was not just Guang Ming. There were some old friends that Lin Xin did not see. Two figures appeared in the Earth sect. One of them was surrounded by a sky full of gods and demons, looking very terrifying. If Lin Xin were here, he would be surprised because that person was Yao Guang. As one of the successors of the Purple Mansion, Yao Guang was also participating. It was unbelievable. Other than him, there was another person who joined the Earth sect. That person was Gu Feng. This guy was previously grounded by his family because he challenged Lin Xin. Now, he was finally released. His face was cold. He had not shown his talent before. This time, he was going to make a name for himself. Thinking of this, the power of space in his body became even more terrifying. Many people came from the Path sect. When Lin Xin and the others landed, the others looked over. Then, they stopped paying attention. Because of the Dragon Palace, Lin Xin and the others restrained their power. Therefore, everyone thought that Lin Xin and the others were just ordinary geniuses. In fact, when they saw Nalan Liang standing beside Lin Xin, they all started laughing. Nalan Liang had already failed twice. Such a person probably had no hope this time. Lin Xin and the others who wanted to be friends with Nalan Liang did not have a chance. Toad gritted his teeth and wanted to refute. Lin Xin waved his hand and said, "Forget it. When the results are out, they will know who is the laughable one." Did this brat really come? Shi Changfeng gritted his teeth as he looked at the backs of Lin Xin and the others. He really couldn't figure out why these guys dared to come here. Some people were astonished that Brother Changfeng recognized them. Shi Changfeng said, "They were more than acquaintances. Do you have a grudge against him?" A blue-robed man laughed. "When the time comes, I can help you get rid of this brat." His eyes were filled with confidence. At this moment, cold air filled the air on the other side. The surroundings were sealed in ice. Everyone felt their hair stand on end. They all circulated their laws to resist the chill. Lin Xin's body was surrounded by sword radiance, cutting off the chill. At the same time, he was surprised that an expert had come. Furthermore, he was an expert of the ice element. In the next moment, he saw a woman in ice armor flying through the air. She was like an ice goddess. Not only was she powerful, but she was also extremely beautiful. She had a cold and noble aura, which attracted the attention of countless people. Immediately, someone exclaimed, "It was Lan Jiayu." The rumors were true. She really came to participate. Oh no, she was the little princess of the Blue Clan. Nalan Liang saw this scene and said, "Brother, let's quickly retreat. Don't let her discover us." Lin Xian had killed a member of the Blue Clan. Now that he was discovered by the other party's geniuses, they would definitely fight. Lin Xian didn't move. He stood with his hands behind his back. No one could make him retreat in fear. Fairy Jiyu. Many young geniuses walked over and greeted her with a smile. Lan Jiyu just nodded coldly, as if she didn't care. Those geniuses' faces were a little ugly, but no one dared to do anything, because Lan Jiyu was very strong, and she was the little princess of a clan of the ancients. Another important point was that he had an older brother called Lan Zilu who had joined the Dao sect and successfully entered the Dragon Palace. He was considered a core member of the Dragon Palace. Who dared to provoke such a person? If they offended Lan Jiyu, even if they joined the Dao sect in the future, they wouldn't be able to survive. Lan Jiyu stood there like a supreme queen looking down on the world. Suddenly, she frowned and looked in Lin Xian's direction. Her eyes were filled with a cold light. Lin Xian's surroundings were frozen. Nalan Liang felt his hair stand on end and quickly blocked it. Lin Xian's eyes were also filled with coldness. The 9 suns Saint Flame swept around and blocked the ice. The toad roared. What, you want to fight us? Come on, do you think I'm afraid of you? The surrounding people were going crazy. Who was this person? He actually dared to challenge Lan Jiyu. Did he want to die? Shi Chongfeng and the others were stunned as well. Soon after, a smirk appeared on their faces. This brat was dead meat. The blue-robed man from before also smiled. Stupid thing. Looks like I don't have to do anything. Lan Jiyu walked over and looked at Lin Xian. She frowned. I can feel the blood of the Blue Clan in you. Have you ever heard a disciple of the Blue Clan? Her soul was pretty strong. Lin Xian was surprised that she could sense it. He had already dealt with it well. He nodded. He didn't deny it. Previously, in the White Crane Tower, there was a guy who recklessly challenged me. In the end, he was killed by me. I think he was from the Blue Clan. Lin Xian said it casually, but it was like a bolt from the blue in everyone's ears. Everyone was stunned. This guy actually killed a disciple of the Blue Clan. Chapter 47:53. At this moment, the sound of a bell rang from afar. At the same time, a loud voice was heard. Now, the PathSex test had begun. Everyone who was going to take part in the test immediately entered the test grounds. In front of them, a door opened. At the same time, a few doors appeared on both sides. Each door corresponded to the cultivation level of a Holy King beginner, Middle Holy King, Late Holy King, Peak Holy King, and even Great Saints. They would all enter their respective test grounds. The PathSex test was to test one's strength and talent. Every test was a competition between people of the same cultivation level. Even weapons couldn't be used. This was to ensure fairness. Between heaven and earth, the bell rang 9 times. Everyone's expression changed. They knew that they couldn't delay any longer. They all flew into the sky. Some people looked at Lin Xian and sneered. Kid, you're lucky. You can live longer. But you're also a Middle Holy King. We'll enter the same test grounds. Unless you're a coward and don't dare to enter. If you meet us there, we'll let you know what it means to live a life worse than death. After that, they all flew into the sky and entered the second door. The Crimson Dragon snorted. You're lucky. You can live longer. Then, he looked at Lin Xian and said, Kid, let's go. Lin Xian nodded and kept Little White. Then, he, the Crimson Dragon, and Nalan Liang walked towards the second door. At the same time, he gave each of them an array. After entering, we might be randomly teleported. So, we'll meet up first and then attack together. After all, this test was different from the previous ones. They had offended the Dragon Palace and the Blue Clan. These people might join forces to attack them. If they acted alone, it would be too dangerous. Lin Xian was worried about the safety of the Crimson Dragon and the others. So, he decided to meet up with them. Don't worry. After we enter, we'll use the array to search for you. The Crimson Dragon and the others took the array and nodded. Nalan Liang prayed in her heart. She didn't want to succeed. She just wanted to be defeated safely. After they entered, they were teleported to different places. Lin Xian's figure appeared. He looked around and found that this was an independent space. It should be a place specially opened up by the Dao sect to conduct trials. The second Dao sect's test was for mid-stage Saint Kings. These people were all geniuses, so it wasn't a problem for them to fight against cultivators of a higher level. However, they weren't any weaker than ordinary late-stage Saint Kings or even peak Saint Kings. Some of them could even kill peak Saint Kings. This was the capital of a genius. Even so, not everyone was able to enter the Dao sect. Only a small number of people were able to pass each time. The number was so small that it made one feel despair. In the heavenly Dao sect, Tianxing carried a long saber on his back as he flew carefully. He had followed Shi Changfeng here. However, due to the random teleportation, they had all been separated. At this moment, he was walking in the forest when suddenly, the mountain split open and a hand reached out to grab him. Damn it! The divine saber was unsheathed. Tianxing shouted angrily as he pulled out his saber and slashed out. This was the Heavenly Saber Mansion's ultimate technique. His saber could kill a late-stage Saint King. However, that enormous stone hand was truly too frightening. With a single strike, it shattered his blade light and sent him flying. Then, his body became dim as he was teleported out. Damn it! How could this be? Tianxing roared. He was full of hope and thought that he could show off his skills. Who would have thought that he would be sent out not long after entering? He didn't even know who the enemy was. Not only him, but many other people had already come out. When they came out, they were all confused. The blue-robed man who had been standing with Shi Changfeng also went out alone. There was an extremely terrifying star on his body that was shining brightly. Suddenly, he realized that there was an extremely terrifying aura between heaven and earth. It condensed and formed a long spear. It shrouded him. Damn it! He quickly retreated. The starlight in the sky turned into shooting stars. However, he couldn't dodge it, so he could only fight back. He formed a seal with his palms, and the starlight formed a star diagram as he attacked. It collided with the divine sword that fell from the sky. In the next moment, his arms shattered and turned into a bloody mist. He was eliminated. How could this be? After he came out, he roared to the sky. He couldn't even block a single move? Damn it! It was really too embarrassing. Before he came, he was full of confidence and didn't put anything in his eyes. But after he went in, he realized that his strength wasn't as strong as he thought. He couldn't even withstand a single blow. How could this be? He started to doubt his life. Outside, there were many people watching the battle. Although they couldn't see the people inside, they could see the defeated expression of those who came out. Among them, some people looked at the blue-robed man and laughed. This guy was probably going crazy. Sigh, there was nothing they could do. Geniuses were worse than cabbages here. Only the geniuses of the three great orthodoxies could enter. There was no hope for the others. Sure enough, more and more challengers came out. Some of them went crazy and couldn't believe it. Some roared to the sky and even wanted to rush back, but they were turned into bloody mist by a force. Everyone's scalp went numb, and they didn't dare to be presumptuous anymore. They could only grit their teeth and hope to come back the year after next. In a valley of the True Path sect, a few figures stood in the air. There was a screen of light in front of them. At that moment, it was displaying the scene inside the trial grounds. The leader of the group was a man with a biting cold aura, as if he was the king of ice. There were many people standing beside him. They had different expressions, but they were all outstanding and had a cold aura. Moreover, they all had a dragon shadow on them. They were from the True Path sect, and they were also from the Dragon Palace. The man leading the group was called Lan Zilu. At this moment, he was in charge of the test in the second door. The geniuses this time weren't very good. Someone beside him shook his head. Another person laughed. Although there are few geniuses, there are still some, such as Sister Jiu. She is in the second door. I think with her strength, she can pass easily. Speaking of this, he looked at the man in front of him. Senior brother Zilu, your sister is also a top genius. After she enters, she can come to the Dragon Palace directly. That's right, the others also agreed. The man in front turned his head and laughed. Jiu is talented, but she still needs to temper her princess temper. Moreover, the Dragon Palace has its own rules. It can't be broken just because she is my sister. However, even if we follow the rules, It shouldn't be a problem for my sister to enter the Dragon Palace. Chapter 47:54. His words were filled with confidence because he was very confident in his younger sister. Lan Jiyu was extremely formidable indeed. Everywhere he passed, the heavens and the earth were sealed in ice. It was even to the extent that no one was willing to be a match for him. She'd gathered a group of followers to help her resist danger. Just like that, he walked all along the way. He was extremely swift. The members of the Dragon Palace watched this scene through the formation, and they nodded incessantly. Suddenly, Baijin frowned and pointed at a figure on the formation. "Senior brother Zilu, it's that fellow. He challenged our Dragon Palace, and he even killed a genius of the Blue Clan." As soon as these words were spoken, the expressions of the members of the Dragon Palace changed, and all of them stared at the figure on the formation. Lan Zilu's face fell while a trace of a piercingly cold glow erupted from his eyes. He dared to kill a cultivator of his clan? He really was courting death. "Senior brother Zilu, let me deal with him for you." "Right, that kid doesn't have the qualifications to enter our Dao sect." Many voices resounded. However, one of them frowned. He said, "Even though that's the case, we're presiding over the test now. If we act against him now, then it would be slightly unfair to him." "Wenrinyu, are you challenging senior brother Zilu?" Baijin laughed coldly. The others had hostile expressions as well. Wenrinyu said, "I naturally don't interfere in the matters of senior brother Zilu's clan. But this is a test after all." Baijin and the others had gloomy expressions, and they intended to say something. However, Lan Zilu waved his hand and stopped everyone. "All right, Wenrinyu is right. This is a test indeed. However, I won't let that kid off." A strand of piercingly cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. A wisp of a smile arose on the corners of Baijin's mouth when he heard this. He understood that Wenrinyu's words had made his attitude clear, but it also meant that it wasn't convenient for him to make a move. So, he needed someone to help him. Baijin decided to make a move. Even though they were both members of the Dragon Palace, his status was too inferior when compared to Lan Zilu. If he was able to curry favor with Lan Zilu, then he wouldn't hesitate to do anything. Moreover, he'd made preparations a long time ago. He'd notified some people who were participating in the test to make a move against Lin Xian and the others. It was even to the extent that he'd snuck a group in. These people should be making a move now. The Crimson Dragon, Toad, and Nalan Liang were teleported to different places. The strength of the Crimson Dragon was extremely strong, so even if it acted alone, it was not afraid at all. His speed was extremely fast. At the same time, he took out a spell formation. The spell formation flickered with light as he rapidly converged it. Coax. The earth split open as a long sword quickly struck out and slashed at the Crimson Dragon. The Crimson Dragon swayed its body, and with a swing of its tail, it split the enemy into two halves. That silhouette quickly retreated. His body was shattered, and his face was filled with shock. What a powerful physique. That sword of his was a sure-kill sword. Even a late-stage Saint King would have died without a doubt, but the other party was completely fine. "Get out of my sight." The dark red divine dragon roared furiously, and the roar of the dragon tore the other party's body into pieces. That person's face was filled with terror. Too powerful, he quickly fled. However, it was shattered by a finger. With a wave of his dragon claw, the opponent's soul was completely destroyed. A mere ant dared to fight against Bin Huang? The Crimson Dragon sneered. "You are quite powerful, but so what?" Between heaven and earth, a cold voice rang out. Then, 6 silhouettes appeared in the surroundings, with terrifying murderous intent. Terrifying precepts covered their faces. "Who are you?" The Crimson Dragon frowned and asked. One of them laughed and said, "We are the ones who will kill you." He stretched out his palm, which was filled with thunderbolts. He struck the void, causing the entire sky to shatter as he charged towards the Crimson Dragon. Another person took out a long sword, which was filled with poison. As long as a Saint King touched a little bit of it, he would die without a doubt. The last person formed a saint's domain. A dense fog appeared in the sky, blocking all sight and even suppressing souls. Attack. With a low roar, the 6 of them attacked together. Heaven transformation palm. The crimson dragon roared and waved its claws. The huge hand of the dragon covered the sky and turned into a piece of the sky, directly tearing the opponent's body apart. At the same time, the aura of the dragon condensed on his body. It turned into endless dragon knives, slashing in all directions. These 6 people were all top geniuses, but they could not suppress the crimson dragon at all. In fact, the crimson dragon even had the upper hand, injuring 6 of them, and the other 4 were pale. Damn it, he was actually so strong. Don't worry, I will help you. The 7th person walked over. This person had a rotten aura, as if he was a corpse. Some parts of his body were even wrapped in bandages. Green light bloomed in his eyes, and then his glabella split open. An ancient coffin appeared, with a gloomy and cold power on it. The ancient coffin opened, and one figure after another appeared. These people were also extremely rotten. Obviously, they were corpses that had been controlled by someone. A total of 49 corpses stood up, and their eyes bloomed with green light. They seemed to have crawled out of hell and quickly charged towards the crimson dragon. These people were also powerful saint kings when they were alive. After they died, they were controlled, and some of their supernatural powers were even preserved. For a moment, it was extremely terrifying. The crimson dragon was attacked by more than 50 people. It could be said that it was extremely dangerous. Roar. The crimson dragon was also furious. He roared and turned into his dragon form. His body grew to tens of thousands of miles long, and he started to sweep in all directions. A huge battle erupted in an instant, and it was extremely intense. On the other side, the toad felt the aura, and its expression changed. Nalan Liang exclaimed. He also moved quickly. He found the toad first, and then he charged forward and attacked quickly. Nalan Liang was shocked. Damn it, the number of people is wrong. I have participated twice before, so I know that there are usually not so many people participating in the test. How did these people get in? The toad gritted its teeth. Damn it, it was definitely the Dragon Palace. They were the hosts, so it was no problem for them to secretly let some people in. These were all people that they had arranged. It was indeed correct. Baizhen looked at the array and smiled. Let's see how you all will die this time. Lan Zilu looked at the array and frowned. This is the dragon race. Is it okay to attack like this? He looked at Baizhen. Baizhen said, Senior brother Zilu, don't worry. I have already asked around. They are not from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Moreover, I have already stated my identity. Our Dragon Palace was built by the Dragon Prince, but they still dared to challenge us. It was obvious that they didn't belong to the Dragon Prince's family. Since that was the case, there was no need for them to exist. There were many Dragon Race members, and they couldn't be respectful to everyone. They only submitted to the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. As for the other Dragon Race members, if they dared to challenge them, they would kill them. Lan Zilu nodded and didn't ask anything else. To him, these people were definitely going to die. Chapter 47:55. The Crimson Dragon was in a bad situation. He was being attacked by more than 50 experts. No matter how strong he was, he couldn't resist. He was dodging quickly, but he didn't retreat at all. His eyes were red. He knew that these people were sent by the Dragon Palace. Since that was the case, he didn't need to hold back. He used all kinds of killer moves. In a short time, more than a dozen figures died. Moreover, he was also injured. In addition, these people used poison, which caused him to suffer internal injuries. The poison broke out, and he felt his strength weakening. When the toad saw this scene, it roared, You're courting death. I'm your ancestor when it comes to poison. He instantly spat out a poisonous mist that filled the sky and shrouded the surroundings. Not good. Dodge quickly. These people opened their sacred domains to resist. The toad came to the Crimson Dragon's side and asked, Are you okay? The Crimson Dragon said, I won't die from this small injury. I'll kill them all today. Damn fatty, why aren't you coming over? The toad roared. Nalan Liang sighed, but then he gritted his teeth and rushed over. Okay, the 3 of us will fight our way out. The 3 of them charged. The mysterious people sneered. One of them had green light in his eyes. He controlled his corpses and moved quickly. The others attacked from afar. It was a good combination. On the other side, Lin Xin frowned. He saw that the 3 light spots on the array had gathered, but they didn't move. He had a bad feeling. He guessed that the 3 of them might be surrounded and couldn't escape. Therefore, with a flash of his body, he flew toward the location indicated by the formation. Don't go. Stay. Between heaven and earth, saber lights flashed. The people of the heavenly saber mansion walked out and blocked Lin Xin's path. 8 people appeared in front of Lin Xin, while another 8 appeared behind him. 16 people surrounded Lin Xin. Lin Xin frowned. Where's Shi Chongfeng from the heavenly saber mansion? Tell him to come out. The leader sneered. Senior brother Chongfeng has already brought people to kill your companions. Your companions must have gone to hell by now. We'll send you to hell to meet your companions. Attack. With a furious shout, the 16 people quickly moved out. Every one of them was a powerful bladesman. Now that they made their move, it was truly horrifying. Lin Xin's face sank. It seems that the Crimson Dragon situation is very bad. He had to end the battle quickly and then go there to provide support. Lin Xin's eyes exploded with a terrifying light. Endless sword chi rushed out of his body and swept through the 9 heavens. Kill with a roar, he transformed into a sword god and rushed over. The people from the heavenly saber manor used their peerless saber techniques to fight back. Between heaven and earth, the sound of swords and sabers clashing rang out, producing thunderous sounds. It was as if the Milky Way was flowing backward. The destructive power swept through everything. When the other examinees felt this aura, their scalps went numb, and they quickly dodged. No one dared to approach. The 16 bladesmen from the heavenly saber mansion were surrounded by peerless saber light. They formed the peerless great heavenly saber array. They wanted to completely suppress Lin Xin. However, Lin Xin was really too strong. His sword chi was like a divine sword. With a slash of his sword, the saber light that filled the sky kept shattering. Man ruler's seal. With a palm strike, 2 peerless bladesmen turned into blood mist. At the same time, Lin Xin waved his long sword and formed the dragon elephant finger. This sword was accompanied by the phantom of the dragon elephant between heaven and earth. The bodies of the 3 peerless bladesmen were torn to pieces. Kill. Kill. Lin Xin was filled with killing intent. He had nothing to say now. He had to send these people to hell. The power on his body became more and more terrifying. The people around him became terrified. Damn it, the other party is too strong. The man in the lead shouted angrily. Don't hold back. Use the heavenly saber totem. We must kill him. Endless Tao patterns appeared on the 16 people and quickly condensed. They formed the most terrifying peerless technique, the heavenly saber totem. Each of them turned into a heavenly saber. They became one with the saber and rushed over quickly. The phantom of the dragon elephant in the sky was completely pierced through by them and disappeared. They rushed to Lin Xin's side and attacked Lin Xin. Lin Xin's body swayed and kept retreating. Great, we can take him down in one go. The man in the lead laughed loudly. His whole body was incomparably powerful, as if he had turned into a peerless divine saber. Take me down? With just you guys? Lin Xin snorted coldly. Great wilderness hunter hand. Tearing the sky with both hands, a terrifying crack spread forward and instantly struck the man in the lead. The man was sent flying. Cracks appeared on his body. The terrifying saber pattern also disappeared quickly. Damn it! How is this possible? After using the heavenly saber totem, their bodies were so strong that they were simply invincible. But now, they couldn't block the other party's attack. I don't believe it. He attacked again. Lin Xin clenched his hand into a fist and threw out a punch. This punch was like the sun falling and the golden crow rising. With a bang, the man in the lead was smashed into pieces. Damn it! His soul was pierced through by Lin Xin's gaze. The soul flame burned and extinguished it. Senior brother. The surrounding people went crazy. They didn't expect that the senior brother in the lead had already fallen. Lin Xin snorted coldly. Don't worry, soon. You will go to hell to see him. Quickly, the totem fuse. One of them was furious. The Tao patterns on their bodies condensed and fused together. The remaining people combined and turned into a long saber. With a slash of the saber, the 9 heavens were destroyed. The divine fire in the sky was split apart. The remaining 8 people were really crazy. They wanted to do it at all costs. The entire world was shattering. Competing with me in bloodline? Lin Xian sneered. I'll let you see my new bloodline. With a furious roar, dragon blood appeared on his body. Behind him, terrifying figures appeared one after another. There was a golden dragon, a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a terrifying saber dragon, and a pterosaur. 10,000 dragon phantoms appeared, covering the sky and the earth. How was that possible? Those people went crazy. They couldn't believe it. In the next moment, the 8 people were torn into pieces by the terrifying dragon phantoms. The world shattered and turned into chaos. Path sect. In the valley, everyone looked at the array formation in front of them and frowned. What was going on? Did the 16 people of the Sky Saber sect die? Bai Zhen's expression changed drastically. That was impossible. He carefully checked and found that the last attack was a monstrous phantom that covered everything. He couldn't see it clearly at all. Damn it, what trump card did that kid use? The situation didn't look good. After Lin Xian killed these people, he took away all their storage rings. He even used the Hand of Creation to condense the power of these people after they died into 16 blood essences. They circled around his hand and were put into a white jade bottle. Then, he set off again. At this moment, the situation on the Crimson Dragon side was very bad. Because after dozens of people came, the people of the Sky Saber sect also came. Shi Chongfeng came with 12 people. Chapter 4756. These 12 people were very strong. With their addition, the pressure on the Crimson Dragon side increased. Each of them had to face more than 20 experts of the same level. They were not ordinary mid-stage Saint Kings. They were all geniuses who could fight above their level. Some could even kill late-stage Saint Kings, and some could even kill peak-stage Saint Kings. Not to mention the Crimson Dragon. Even if they were 3 peak-stage Saint Kings, they would have died long ago. This group of geniuses was extremely powerful. However, the Crimson Dragon and the others were not weak, especially the Crimson Dragon. His bloodline had recently erupted, and his strength was unimaginable. The toad's poison was also very powerful. The weakest one was Nalan Liang. This Nalan Liang had suffered many injuries, and his body was dyed red with blood. Shi Chongfeng walked over and said, Nalan Liang, you are courting death by going against us. Today, we will send you to hell. You can forget about entering the Tao sect for the rest of your life. He had just arrived and was in his peak condition. However, Nalan Liang had been through a great battle and had consumed a lot of energy. Moreover, he was heavily injured. The gap between the two sides was very big. Seeing this, the Crimson Dragon roared, Fatty, run. We won't blame you. Let's save your life first. You want to run? Can you run? Shi Chongfeng laughed as he was surrounded by an inescapable net, which cut off his escape route. Kneel down and kowtow to me 3 times. Call me Grandpa 3 times, and I will give you a quick death. Are you courting death? Come find me if you have the ability. I will beat you until you call me Ancestor. The toad roared at the side. At the same time, he looked at Nalan Liang. Damn, Fatty, run quickly. We don't have the strength to care about you. At this moment, the 2 toads were also in danger. Nalan Liang said, You guys treat me as a brother. How can I run away? Oh, righteous as the clouds, how touching. Shi Chongfeng sneered. I wonder if the 2 of you will still be together when you go to hell? The few of them accompanied each other on the road to the Yellow Springs, so they weren't lonely. Shi Chongfeng sneered and slashed down with his blade. Not good. The Crimson Dragon's face changed. Although Nalan Liang was loyal, he was afraid that he would lose his life. Nalan Liang's expression was ugly. He gritted his teeth and said, Do you really think that I'm useless? Shi Chongfeng, you are courting death. Take my mixed element strike, the ultimate strike, a sure kill strike. Fatty shouted angrily. The surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. What kind of ultimate move is this? What a powerful trump card. However, Shi Chongfeng sneered. Useless fatty, if you really had a trump card, you wouldn't have failed twice. Go to hell. The skyblade in his hand was even more terrifying. However, he was wrong this time. Nalan Liang, who was in front of him, suddenly burst into flames and disappeared in an instant. He had turned into a skinny man, so skinny that he looked like a skeleton. His fist, however, was blooming with incomparably resplendent light. Boom! With a single punch, the heavenly blade in the sky was instantly shattered. Shi Changfeng's expression changed greatly. He wanted to flee, but it was already too late. This punch pierced through his head and turned his body into a bloody mist. His soul was also killed with a single blow. Boom, boom, boom. Not only that, the void in front of him kept shattering. The ground cracked, forming an endless huge crack. Those who were close to it were also sent flying, vomiting blood. Everyone was going crazy. What is this? The Crimson Dragon and the Toad were also shocked. F***CK, this fatty. What kind of pill did he take? How did he become so terrifying? For a moment, no one dared to make a move. They all thought that Fatty was a super expert who had hidden his strength. Between heaven and earth, the cracks slowly healed. Dust filled the air, and a figure appeared in front of everyone. In the morning mist, the figure gradually became clearer. In the next moment, everyone looked over. Many people were shocked. Did an expert come? Who was this person? The figure in front of them was tall and slender. It wasn't the fatty from before at all. The Toad also frowned. Did this guy transform? They tore open the storm and looked carefully. Then, they were stunned. The fatty was no longer there. Instead, he was a skinny person, like a mummy. There was no flesh at all. Only skin and bones were left. There were even wounds on his body. This person's face was pale, and his body had a sinister expression. Who was this person? Everyone was stunned. The Toad also asked, "Where did you take Fatty?" The figure in front said, "Heroes, it's me. Hurry up and support me. I'm about to fall." After saying that, he fell to the ground with a plop. The Crimson Dragon exclaimed, F***CK, it's that damn Fatty. The Toad also jumped over. It can't be. This guy is so strong. You burned all the energy in your body just now, right? That punch directly killed a top genius. Nalan Liang was very weak at the moment. However, he grinned. This is a sure kill skill I researched. It's not my final trump card, so I didn't use it before. That Shi Changfeng was too arrogant. I'll teach him a lesson. The people of the Heavenly Blade Manor were stunned. Shi Changfeng was killed just like that? Damn it. They all went crazy. Shi Changfeng was their Heavenly Blade Manor's top genius. This time, he definitely had hopes of entering the Dao sect. His future achievements were limitless. But now, he actually died. Damn it. Kill him and take revenge for senior brother. The people of the Heavenly Blade Manor gritted their teeth and charged forward. The other mysterious people also sneered. One of the three was already crippled. There were only two left. You guys will definitely die this time. The remaining people still had many things to do. At this moment, they were filled with killing intent. They were all prepared to use their trump cards. Nalan Liang said, "Let's retreat first. I don't have any energy left." The Crimson Dragon said, "There's no need to retreat. We have to die today." "Brother, you have a trump card. Do you think we don't? I just didn't want to use it before." "All right, I'll let them see my true ultimate skill." The Toad's eyes lit up. The aura of the two became abnormally terrifying. In the Dao Sect's valley, everyone looked at this scene and frowned. Someone said, "This Nalan Liang has such an ultimate skill. It doesn't seem to be from the Nalan family." Another person said, "I guess it's an ultimate skill that he researched himself. This kid is really creative. But it's useless. If he uses this skill in a one-on-one fight, if the opponent doesn't die, he will die." Indeed, this was equivalent to his final trump card. As for Bai Zhen, his face was incomparably cold. He could already feel how ugly Lan Zilu's face was. Thinking of this, he quietly retreated. It seemed like he was preparing other trump cards. He left the valley and said to the people around him, "Activate the hunter." "Yes, we know." Looking at the leaving figure, Bai Zhen sneered. The real killing move was about to begin. In the training ground, the Crimson Dragon's aura became extremely terrifying. On the other side, the toad was also circulating its energy. Its body was originally only the size of a palm, but at this moment, it was constantly growing. It became even more terrifying than a mountain. Chapter 47:57. Damn it. Hurry up and attack. We can't let them use their ultimate skills. The people on the other side rushed over when they saw this scene. It's useless. It's too late. I'll let you see Bun Huang's ultimate skill. Dragon Saber. The dragon scales on the Crimson Dragon rose into the air and condensed into a dragon saber. Imbued with his divine dragon bloodline, he slashed down with his saber. This attack turned into a divine dragon that was tens of thousands of feet long. It descended from the sky and destroyed everything. The people of the Heavenly Saber sect were in despair. This saber was too terrifying. Even their elders couldn't use such a terrifying saber technique. Damn it! Hurry up and use the Heavenly Saber Totem. The remaining people didn't dare to be careless. Endless runes appeared on their bodies and formed the Heavenly Saber Totem. They tried their best to block it. However, it was useless. Under this attack, the dragon saber shattered everything. The bodies of the people of the Heavenly Saber sect were all split open. They died in despair. The people of the Heavenly Saber sect fell. The dragon saber in the sky slowly faded. The mysterious people saw this scene and rushed towards the Crimson Dragon. This guy's trump card was too strong. They had to kill him, or there would be endless trouble. At this moment, the toad roared. Its body had become as huge as a mountain. There was a terrible sound behind his head, the song of destruction. This sound was truly too terrifying. Nothing could stop it wherever it passed. The remaining mysterious people suffered a violent impact. They roared crazily and tried to resist. However, under this destructive force, they disappeared and no longer existed. The sky in front of them was shattering. The earth was cracking. It was a scene of destruction. Clang! The dragon saber turned into scales and returned to the Crimson Dragon. The Crimson Dragon's body shrank and roared. On the other side, the toad had also recovered. It sneered. Did you see that without my ultimate skill? Can you resist it? Is it over? Nalan Liang was shocked. He thought that his trump card was strong enough. He didn't expect these two guys to be even more terrifying. More than 70 experts were killed by the three of them. Especially at the end, the Crimson Dragon and the Toad's two moves directly destroyed more than 50 people. How terrifying was that? There was absolutely no problem for the two of them to enter the Dao sect. In fact, they might even be extremely formidable existences within the Dao sect. As expected, some of the trial challengers were watching from afar. When they saw this scene, their scalps went numb. Was there such a terrifying expert among the challengers this time? Originally, he thought that only Lan Jiayu, a top-tier expert, would be present. No one else would be able to compete with him. From the looks of it, these two demonic beasts were pretty strong. Everyone was talking about it. At this moment, someone sneered. Don't you think this is a good opportunity? The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. While they were weak, they quickly eliminated these people. Some of them even turned into shadows and rushed over. The toad and Crimson Dragon in front of him had just heaved a sigh of relief when they suddenly frowned. They roared angrily and tore apart heaven and earth with a claw. A figure was sent flying while coughing up blood. The toad used poisonous gas to envelop the area. The human figures began to rot as they fled in terror. The three souls escaped into the sky, trying to escape into the distance. But at this moment, their souls stopped and gradually disappeared. It was as if it had been swallowed by something. What kind of method was this? It was too terrifying. The people watching from afar felt their scalps go numb. They originally thought that the three of them were weak and wanted to use this opportunity to eliminate them. But now, it seemed too difficult. This kind of genius had completely surpassed them. Even if they were weak, they weren't people they could provoke. However, the dark red divine dragon's brows were tightly knitted together. They were the ones who launched the previous attack, but the souls of the three had not been devoured by them. Who was it? The crimson dragon roared, and the pressure of its bloodlines spread in all directions. The void rippled, and a figure walked out. Dragon Clan. The figure smiled and said, "I wonder what your dream is like. Who are you? Were you the one who swallowed the souls before?" The toad also snorted coldly. "You want to attack us? You're still lacking. Hurry up and scram, or I'll send you to hell." "Toad, I guess your dream isn't much. I'll just destroy your soul." The figure that came out floated in the void. His figure was like a dream, and there was a terrifying soul energy on his body. The crimson dragon frowned. "Be careful. This guy is probably a soul expert. Don't fall for his illusions." As soon as they finished speaking, they felt their souls shake. In the next moment, they seemed to have arrived in a forest. There was no danger around, and there was an endless amount of delicious food and wine in front of them. Lin Xian walked out of the forest and said, "Ruzalong, the toad is no longer in danger. The enemy has been killed. Let's drink and chat." Nalan Liang grinned. "I need to nourish myself." He pounced forward. The toad was also suspicious. The crimson dragon roared, "Damn it, this is a dream. Break for me." His dragon blood transformed into a dragon saber that cut through everything. Like a broken mirror, the three of them came back to their senses, and they were covered in cold sweat. What just happened? Nalan Liang was dumbfounded. The toad also jumped up. "Damn, you dare to use illusions on us?" The crimson dragon's face turned ugly. This person was definitely a soul expert. He was even more terrifying than the previous 70 people combined. Nalan Liang thought of something and kept retreating. "I know who you are. You are the Dream Eater Wolf. Damn it, are you here to join the Dao sect too?" The Dream Eater Wolf was a mutated species of heaven and earth. It was an extremely terrifying demonic beast that specialized in creating dreams and devouring others' dreams. The souls that were devoured would disappear and become someone else's power. The souls of the previous 3 people were devoured in this way. The Crimson Dragon and the others also suffered the same attack. If it wasn't for the Crimson Dragon's bloodline exploding at the end, the 3 of them would be in danger. They had really underestimated the people of the world. As expected of the 3 great orthodoxies, even the people who came were so terrifying. The Crimson Dragon originally thought that with their strength, they would be able to wipe out all of them without fear. But now, it seemed that they were too careless. This Dream Eater Wolf was indeed a difficult opponent. Dream Eater Wolf. When the people in the distance heard about it, they all retreated. This guy killed people without leaving a trace. They wouldn't even know how they died. They didn't dare to stay any longer. The Dream Eater Wolf looked at Nalan Liang and smiled. "You guys are not stupid to be able to recognize me. All right, give up on resisting." Dreamy bubbles appeared on his body and swept forward. A huge dream was about to be created by him. "Damn it, let's fight it out. Tighten your soul. Don't let him control you." The Crimson Dragon reminded. The dragon scales on his body condensed again, forming a dragon blade. The toad beside him also spat out poisonous fog to defend against the attack. Seeing that the battle was about to erupt again, the Dream Eater Wolf was stunned. He looked around. Then, the corner of his mouth curled up. "Seems like I don't have to do anything. You guys are already targeted. To send such a person here, you guys have really offended someone powerful." Chapter 4758. After speaking, he smiled and said, "You 3, take care of yourselves. I don't want your souls." He turned and left. The Dream Eater Wolf came quickly and left quickly, disappearing without a trace in an instant. Toad heaved a sigh of relief. Were they scared away by us? Nalan Liang also smiled. Perhaps Brother Lin was here. They thought that Lin Xian should be here to help. But soon, they realized that wasn't the case. Lin Xian's figure hadn't appeared yet, but there were 4 auras surrounding them. They spread out in all directions and shrouded them again. What a terrifying aura. Nalan Liang's scalp went numb. The Crimson Dragon was furious. Were their experts hunting them again? Did they really think that they were pushovers? For figures appeared in all directions. These 4 people were wearing battle armor, and even their faces were covered. It was impossible to tell who they were. Only a pair of eyes were emitting a biting cold radiance. The four of them held four sabers in their hands, and a terrifying murderous aura came from them. The atmosphere in the entire area was extremely oppressive. There were still some people in the distance who didn't manage to escape in time. When they saw this scene, their pupils constricted. Someone exclaimed, "Hunters! Damn it! The people from the Tao sect of this world are also here?" These people were crazy. Usually, the beginning of a trial would be a battle between cultivators, and there would be arrays and traps in the trial space. There shouldn't be hunters. Even if there were, it shouldn't be. This should be the end. A battle between a few top experts should be one-on-one. Now that the four hunters were attacking together, it was obvious that they had the intention to kill. Who was giving orders to these hunters? What kind of terrifying existence did the three of them offend? Someone said, "I heard that they were reckless and offended the Dragon Palace." What? Offended the Dragon Palace? The Dragon Palace was the host this time. They could mobilize all their forces. The three of them were dead meat. No wonder the Dream Eater Wolf retreated. He didn't want to offend the Dragon Palace. "Let's go too." At this moment, everyone retreated. No one dared to offend the Dragon Palace. No one was a match for the hunters. The hunters were disciples who cultivated in the Tao sect. The experiences and cultivation resources of these people were not something the hunters could compare with. Crimson Dragon and the others felt their blood run cold. Although there were only four of them, they were much scarier than the previous group of geniuses. From the looks of it, there would be a tough battle ahead. The faces of the three turned cold. At this moment, a fifth figure descended from the sky. He swept through the area like a golden god of war. "Brat, you're finally here." The Crimson Dragon was pleasantly surprised, and the toad let out a sigh of relief. But now it would seem like the Dragon Palace is really too disappointing. He could only pray that they were strong enough to avoid the attacks of the hunters. Space split open beneath a cliff, and then the figures of Lin Xian and the others appeared. The hunter shouted coldly and activated his Saint Domain to defend himself. He laughed coldly. "Do you think you'll be a match for me if you teleport us away? It's useless. Actually, I can crush all of you by myself." "Is that so?" Lin Xian laughed coldly. "Perhaps you don't know our strength." A terrifying radiance erupted from him. The Crimson Dragon and the Toad walked over as well, and all three of them revealed cold smiles. Lin Xian slapped out with his palm. The primeval demon mountain appeared in the sky and descended from the sky, causing the entire world to shatter. The hunter roared furiously and slashed with his saber towards the primeval demon mountain. At the same time, his other hand swept out, and it seemed to have transformed into a divine sword. The three of them were courting death, so he fulfilled their wishes. However, he quickly realized that he was wrong. He was actually unable to resist them. First, the primeval demon mountain in the sky directly blocked his saber light. The Toad and the Crimson Dragon were very strong as well, and they didn't fear his attacks at all. Damn it, I miscalculated. These three people can't be measured by top-rate geniuses. They're heaven-defying geniuses, especially this newcomer. Every single move of his carried strength that was too strong, and he was like a golden god of war. Retreat. The hunter actually retreated at this moment. If anyone else saw this, they would probably be dumbstruck. When the people from Dragon Palace saw this, they frowned in the Tao sect's ancient mountain. This is the first time a hunter has fled? Don't you think it's too late to leave? Lin Xian's figure flashed and blocked the hunter's path. Chapter 4759. Get lost. The hunter punched out. Lin Xian waved his sword and resisted. The hunter was knocked back, and his hand was split open. Damn it! Why is the opponent so strong? Under the attacks of the three, the hunter was about to cry. In the end, he was suppressed by the Tai Chi diagram. Nalan Liang walked over in shock. It was the first time a hunter was suppressed. Quickly take off his helmet. What kind of person was it? The Toad took off the hunter's helmet. Inside was a young man. At this moment, his face was extremely ugly. Damn it! Let me go. You wanted to kill us before. Now you want us to let you go. Don't you think it's funny? The Crimson Dragon sneered. That hunter said, I'm just following orders. Follow your ass. The Crimson Dragon slapped him. The hunter's face turned black. What? You don't accept it? If you don't accept it, I'll kick you to death. The toad jumped on the hunter's face. The Crimson Dragon also waved his dragon claw. Nalan Liang was dumbfounded. The hunter was beaten into a pig's head. In the Dao sect's ancient mountain, the people of the Dragon Palace were also stunned. The hunter was beaten up. When Rinla was stunned. Previously, he was worried about these people. Now, it seemed that his worries were unnecessary. Thinking of this, he laughed. Baizhen, it seems that your scheme won't succeed. Baizhen's face was ugly. Damn it. Lanzilla's face was also cold. He turned his head and glanced at Baizhen. Baizhen's scalp was numb. He said that there were 3 more people. The remaining 3 wouldn't make a mistake. On the cliff, the hunter was about to cry. 3 heroes, please spare me. I'm just following orders. I won't dare to do it again. Brat, how should we deal with this? Kill him directly? The Crimson Dragon's eyes were filled with killing intent. The hunter's scalp was numb. I'm a disciple of the Dao sect. You can't kill me. Can't kill me? The toad sneered and slapped him again. The hunter's teeth flew out. Nalan Liang said, Indeed, they couldn't be killed because they had a safety token. It was made by the Dao sect's elders. When the hunter came in and faced with certain death, the token would shatter and teleport him away. So that's how it is. Lin Xian nodded in understanding. Since he couldn't be killed, then he would beat him up. Then, Lin Xian snatched the armor and saber from the man and put them on. After he put on the mask, he said, Can you tell who I am? The dark red divine dragon shook its head. Brat, are you thinking about it? The toad also laughed. Ha 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 ha, I can already see the following scene. Next, they began to torture the hunter. The hunter even had the thought of dying. Two. All right, let's go. You 3 hide. Lin Xian put on the hunter's armor and flew into the sky. Dao sect. In the valley, the people from the Dragon Palace went crazy. They couldn't believe it. Baizhen's face turned even uglier. He had a bad feeling. Sure enough, Lin Xian swept across the sky. He didn't hide his terrifying killing intent. Countless people looked up in fear. It was a hunter. Oh heavens, run quickly. Those cultivators saw him and ran away quickly. Soon, Lin Xian saw a hunter. He flew over and asked, Have you dealt with that kid? Lin Xian nodded. Yes, he's dead. I killed all 3 of them. Hey, look at who's behind you. The hunter on the other side turned his head. Lin Xian's palm landed on the other party's body. The Taiji diagram spun and directly split the other party into 2. Damn it. You dare to attack me? That hunter had gone crazy. He couldn't figure out why his companion would suddenly attack. Lin Xian sneered. If I attack you, I'll let you go to hell. With that, he waved his hand and formed a boundary space, enveloping the other party. Then, the toad and the Crimson Dragon appeared. Nalan Liang also had a smirk on his face. Damn it, why aren't you dead yet? He looked at Lin Xian and shouted angrily, What are you doing? Lin Xian took off his mask. What do you think we are doing? Damn it, it's you. Where was that person? The hunter went crazy. It wasn't his companion, but these guys. Attack, don't give him a chance to escape. Lin Xian shouted angrily. The 4 of them attacked. It didn't take long for the hunter to be suppressed. This time, they directly sealed the other party. Even if they couldn't kill the other party, they couldn't let the other party escape. Moreover, these hunters were able to listen to the orders of the Dragon Palace. They must be from the Dragon Palace. Since that was the case, they wouldn't hold back. After being tortured for a while, the hunter even had the thought of dying. Next, the other 2 hunters were in the same situation. Lin Xian approached with their companions and then suddenly attacked. The 3 hunters were suppressed. Their faces were swollen like pig heads. Lin Xian used the dragon-shaped sword chi to completely seal the 3 of them. Then, he threw them in. The 4 of them put on the hunter's armor. Go. The 4 of them waved their hands and quickly soared into the sky. In the Dao sect, the atmosphere in the valley was extremely strange. No one dared to speak. Only Wenren Yu had a cold smile on her face. These people broke the rules, but they didn't expect that the other party was too strong. This was really embarrassing. If this spread out, the Dragon Palace would probably be laughed at. What did you do? Lon Zilu turned around with a cold expression. This Baijin really couldn't do anything but spoiled everything. Not only did he not kill a single enemy, he even caused the 4 hunters to be heavily injured. The 3 of them were suppressed. Was this a slap to the Dragon Palace's face? I was wrong. Senior brother, please calm down. I will deal with them myself. Baijin's hair stood on end. He wasn't a match for Lon Zilu. Lon Zilu was very strong. He estimated that even 10 of him together wouldn't be able to defeat him. Baijin hurriedly retreated. This time, he wanted to personally lead people in and kill those people. This is your last chance. The Dragon Palace doesn't want trash. Lon Zilu turned around and said coldly, I know, senior brother. Don't worry. There won't be any more accidents this time. Baijin's expression was cold. He put on the hunter's armor. He led people in again. Iwuya and Shuedan. They were scouting the surroundings. They came here with Lon Jiyu. If they could gain Lon Jiyu's favor, then their future achievements would be limitless. There's no danger here, Iwuya said. Shuedan nodded. There's no danger here either. The 2 of them met up and prepared to return to tell Lon Jiyu. But at this moment, they discovered that 4 figures were about to arrive. Who are they? The 2 of them shouted angrily. Killing intent appeared on their bodies. But when they saw the 4 figures, their expressions became extremely unsightly. Hunters. Damn it. Why are hunters here? And why are they here? Chapter 4760. Run. The 2 of them didn't dare to fight back. Want to run? Lin Xian and the others sneered. They knew these 2 people. When Lon Jiyu faced them, these 2 people wanted to kill them. How could they hold back now? Soon, the few of them were subdued. The Crimson Dragon and the others sneered and began to torture the 2 geniuses. They were better off dead than alive. Lon Jiyu frowned. The people next to him said, Why aren't they back yet? Are they in danger? A genius from the Blue Clan sneered. Trash. With such strength, do you think you can stay beside Sister Jiyu? They won't come. At this moment, a voice sounded. Then the 2 heads were thrown from the sky. The 2 heads roared crazily. Fairy Jiyu, save us. Lon Jiyu's pupils constricted. The people around were in an uproar. Who dared to attack these 2 people? Although they said it disdainfully, Iwuya and Shuedan were both top tier. They were on par with them. At this moment, there was someone who could easily injure the 2 of them. Who exactly was this person? Soon, they saw 4 silhouettes appearing in all 4 directions. They were wearing armor and holding swords. They were emitting terrifying killing intent. Hunters. The genius's scalps went numb. Lon Jiyu couldn't believe it either. Of course, she knew about the existence of hunters, but who was she? Her brother was a genius from Dragon Palace. He was the leader of this event. How could they send hunters to kill her? Who sent you? Don't you know who I am? Lon Jiyu said coldly. No matter who you are, you will have to accept our test. Kill. Lin Xian roared in anger and quickly attacked, slashing out with his saber. The other 3 also attacked aggressively. The biting cold aura made their scalps go numb. Damn it. Lon Jiyu slapped out frost, forming a world of ice and snow. She said, Attack. The people around also attacked. But how could they be a match for her? Apart from Nalan Liang, who they could contend with, they couldn't contend with the others, especially Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon. Lin Xian's sword was terrifying. Every attack contained the aura of the dragon sword spirit. The geniuses couldn't even block one attack. They were split in half. Too many of them had perished. Damn it. How could it be like this? In the Valley of the True Path sect, the people from Dragon Palace saw this scene and their faces changed. They could clearly see what had happened. Naturally, they knew that this was a hunter disguised by Lin Xian and the others. However, they didn't expect the other party to meet Lon Jiyu. They all looked at Lon Jiyu. Lon Jiyu's face was also cold. Damn it. Was his little sister in danger? Although he had boundless confidence in his younger sister, The strength displayed by Lin Xian and the others was simply too astonishing. Senior apprentice brother Zilu, don't worry, Bai Zhan has already brought people over. They should be arriving soon. In the trial grounds, the battle was terrifying. Other than Lan Jiayu, the other geniuses were all killed. Lan Jiyu's face was ugly. She could fight against one, but 3 of the 4 challengers were very strong. If they attacked her together, she wouldn't be a match. Thinking of this, she shouted coldly, "Stop! I know the rules of the challengers. One-on-one. Why are you attacking together? Don't worry. When you're alone, we'll fight one-on-one." With that, Lin Xian slashed out again, turning a genius next to him into a bloody mist. Roars sounded. The people of the Blue Clan were usually high and mighty, but now they were like ants. They died instantly. Lan Jiyu's face turned cold. She felt that something was wrong. They definitely weren't real challengers. Who are you? The people who killed you. Lin Xian's voice was cold. His killing intent swept across the sky. Lan Jiyu's body shook. Blue light burst out of her eyes. She shouted coldly, "So it was you." As a top expert, she finally recognized Lin Xian. He was the one who killed her family's geniuses. She didn't expect him to pretend to be a challenger. Looks like you're not stupid. If that's the case, will you kill yourself, or let us do it? One-on-one. Let's fight. I'll let you know the difference between us. Lan Jiyu's cold eyes stared at Lin Xian. As you wish, Lin Xian walked out. I'll let you have 3 moves. You're courting death. Lan Jiyu roared. Endless frost rushed out of her body, forming a world of frost that covered the land. A terrifying frost aura condensed. It seemed to be able to freeze everything. Seeing this, Lin Xian sneered. With a wave of his hand, he swung the man-ruler's seal forward. Like a celestial emperor, he shattered the frost. He rushed towards Lan Jiyu. Lan Jiyu snorted. She waved her hand. The ice in the sky turned into an ice dragon, blocking the man-ruler seal and sealing it between heaven and earth. Then, with another attack, countless frost arrows fell from the sky. Lin Xian used the great desolate sky-splitting hand. He tore the world apart, shattering all the frost swords. At the same time, he attacked again. The battle between the two was terrifying. Lan Jiyu's face was serious. Her eyes were filled with confidence. She didn't think she would lose. But soon, her face turned cold. She found that her opponent was really strong. He gave her a lot of pressure, especially when she found that her opponent was calm. He didn't seem to be nervous. In fact, he seemed more relaxed than her. Was this a casual attack? Damn it. She didn't believe it. Lin Xian was calm. He attacked casually. Dragon Elephant Finger. The dragon elephant phantom danced in the sky. The space in front of them was shattered. The entire world of frost shook violently. Lan Jiyu gritted her teeth. Was he looking down on her? She was furious. Her bloodline erupted. She was about to use her trump card. But at this time, a cold voice came from the sky. "Kid, I finally found you." As soon as the voice rang out, Lin Xian frowned and looked up into the sky. The Crimson Dragon and the others also exclaimed, "Oh no, what a terrifying aura." Lan Jiyu retreated and didn't attack. She saw a familiar person. Bai Zhan, her brother's subordinate. Bai Zhan had come, and he had brought 10 hunters with him. They descended from the sky. The whole world froze. These hunters were all from the Taoist sect. They were very strong. Bai Zhan had joined the Dragon Palace. Such a strong team could definitely suppress everything. "Kid, I let you go last time at the White Crane Tower. I didn't expect you to come here and cause trouble. You don't know what's good for you. Since you dare to come here, I don't think you need to live." Chapter 4761. Just you? Lin Xian sneered. "You didn't attack me at the White Crane Tower because you were afraid of me. Do you think you're my match now that you've called over 10 helpers?" The moment he said that, even the 10 hunters were stunned. What a bold person, daring to challenge Bai Zhan. Seems like he's tired of living. Bai Zhan's face darkened. "Kid, I'll let you know what it's like to wish you were dead." Nalan Liang stood out and shouted, "Your cultivation isn't at the middle stage of the Saint King realm. Even if the challengers want to attack, you can't. You've broken the rules. Indeed. Baijan's cultivation was at the late stage of the Saint King realm. He shouldn't have come to the second gate. Baijan sneered. You talk to me about the rules. I'm the rules. I can change them at any time. Are you unhappy? What strong words. Nalan Liang and the others gritted their teeth. Damn it. Lin Xian sneered. How disappointing. So this is the True Path sect? I thought that the True Path sect was an ancient inheritance. The geniuses inside are all at the peak of the world. Who would have thought that there would be trash like you? If the True Path sect is filled with people like you, I don't think I need to join. What did you say? Baijin was furious. The True Path sect isn't something you can comment on. Do you believe that I won't kill you right now? You can try and see if you can do it. Lin Xian's expression was cold. Although they couldn't use weapons here, so what? Lan Jiyu frowned and said coldly, Senior brother Baijan, it's indeed against the rules for you to attack. Let the hunters behind you do it. Sister Jiyu, don't be afraid. I'm in charge here. Baijan smiled. However, Lan Jiyu frowned even more. The True Path sect has its rules. I don't want to break them because of me. I think my brother doesn't want this to happen in the test he's in charge of. If this spreads, it won't be good for my brother's reputation. Damn it. Baijan's expression was cold. This Lan Jiyu was really an idiot. What was there to be proud of? If it wasn't for the fact that his brother was Lan Zilu, he wouldn't have bothered with him. Thinking of this, he snorted coldly. Fine, since you've said so, I won't make a move. However, these 10 hunters were all at the early stage of the Saint King realm. Let them do it. Baijan waved his hand and sneered. Go and take him down. The 10 hunters stood in the void, and the atmosphere was extremely tense. However, what was surprising was that the 10 of them did not attack together. Instead, only one of them stepped forward. Baijan's face sank and he said coldly, I said let's attack together. Didn't you hear me? The hunter who walked out was wearing a mask. He said coldly, Senior brother Baijan, the rule of the hunters is to fight one-on-one, not group attacks. As a genius, I have my own pride. I hope that Senior brother Baijan won't make things difficult for us. That's right. Senior brother Baijan hopes that you will act according to the rules. The 9 hunters behind him also spoke coldly. Baijan's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. Damn it. These guys actually dared to refute him? He was mad with anger. Nalan Liang was also stunned. Damn, what's going on? However, the toad laughed loudly. Ha ha ha, this is really a slap in the face. It seems that only you are despicable and shameless in the True Path sect. The others are normal. Lin Xian also laughed and nodded. The True Path sect is indeed an ancient inheritance. I take back my words from before. These top geniuses all had their own pride. The fact that they could come to the True Path sect meant that they had already surpassed the majority of the geniuses. Would they join forces to deal with a mid-stage Saint King? They were disdainful in their hearts. However, this also gave Lin Xian a chance. Baijan gritted his teeth. A bunch of stupid things. He didn't say anything and just stood there coldly. The first hunter walked out and said, You can attack. Boom. Lin Xian punched out, and it was as if a sun was rotating between heaven and earth. The terrifying divine fire swept through the 9 heavens. Everyone felt a wave of heat, as if their bodies were about to melt. Lan Jiyu frowned tightly. This guy was indeed strong. He could actually counter her frost. The hunter's pupils also shrank. He took a deep breath and shouted angrily. He formed a seal with his palm, and a divine eagle swooped down. Boom. The two collided, and the heaven and earth shook. The hunter retreated, and endless cracks appeared on his body. He stopped there in disbelief. After a while, he sighed. You are really strong. I am not your opponent. The 9 hunters behind him were also shocked. The power of this punch made their hair stand on end. In an instant, the 7 hunters shook their heads. We are not his opponent either. Their strength was the same as the first hunter, or at least not much higher. Therefore, they probably couldn't take this punch. Only 2 hunters' eyes flashed. One of them walked out and said, Let me try. Now, they were no longer here to hunt. Instead, they were here to challenge. Lin Xian nodded. He formed a seal with one hand, and used the man-ruler seal. It was as if a celestial emperor had come out. So terrifying. The hunter's pupils shrank. The power of this palm was even more terrifying than the previous punch. Tianluo Divine Fist. He didn't dare to be careless. He used his most powerful technique. The two collided. The hunter flew out and smashed into the endless mountains. He climbed up from the ruins and spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. He was really strong. To be able to become a hunter, he was very powerful in the Taoist sect. But now, he couldn't even take one punch from Lin Xian. The last hunter also shook his head and sighed. There's no need to fight. I'm not his opponent. With your talent, even if you can't be first in the middle stage of the Saint King realm, you are definitely in the top 3. They were ashamed of their inferiority. The 10 hunters admitted defeat. Lan Jiyu was shocked. She couldn't believe it. She furrowed her brows tightly. She originally thought that she would be the first person to take the test, but now it seemed that she might not be the first. The young man in front of her made her feel a great pressure. It was the same pressure that her brother had given her back then. Bai Zhen's expression turned even uglier. Damn it. He clenched his teeth so hard that they almost broke. He didn't expect that he would admit defeat so easily with 10 hunters. Although the opponent was strong, if the 10 of them attacked together, they would definitely win. But the 14 of them didn't listen to him at all. What a laughable pride. He cursed in his heart. Okay, only you are left. Lin Xian looked at him and said indifferently, Bai Zhen, do it yourself. Bai Zhen was stunned. He couldn't believe it. Even Lan Jiyu's expression changed. In her opinion, defeating 10 hunters was enough to pass the test. But the other party still wanted to challenge Bai Zhen. Bai Zhen wasn't someone these hunters could compare to. Perhaps even 10 hunters added together wouldn't be a match for Bai Zhen. Bai Zhen sneered. Are you sure you want to fight me? You really don't know what death is. Great. I'll take advantage of this opportunity to kill him instantly. Chapter 4762. The Crimson Dragon sneered. You think too much. Suppress your cultivation and fight at the same level. Suppress your cultivation. Bai Zhen's expression turned ugly after hearing that. Cultivation was his advantage. Although he was only a late-stage Saint King, with his strength, killing a peak-stage Saint King was a piece of cake. This was the method of a genius. But if he suppressed his cultivation, he wouldn't have much of an advantage over the other party. Even if he won, it would be a difficult victory, so he wasn't willing. The toad sneered. Why not? If you suppress your cultivation, I'll only use one hand. Lin Xian also laughed. If you don't even dare to fight at the same level, how can you call yourself a genius? Is the Dragon Palace filled with trash like this? At this moment, Lan Jiyu looked at the other party. The 10 hunters also looked at Bai Zhen with a hint of doubt in their eyes. Bai Zhen doesn't dare? Damn it. Are they all looking down on me? Bai Zhen was angry. Brat, if you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. So what if you suppress your cultivation? He formed a seal with his palms, forming a few steels to suppress his cultivation to mid-stage Saint King. Then he roared and rushed towards Lin Xian. You really dare to fight me? Looks like you're not very smart. How can you be my opponent at the same level? Lin Xian sneered and struck out with his palm. The primordial demon mountain fell from the sky. At the same time, he said, not to mention suppressing your cultivation, even if you're at your peak, you can't beat me. Boom. Bai Zhen roared and split open the sky with his palms. He actually blasted the primordial demon mountain away. It could be seen that even if he suppressed his cultivation, he was still a top existence. But it was a pity that Lin Xian's methods were beyond his imagination. Lin Xian condensed the yin and yang qi in his hands, forming a taiji diagram and striking out. Bai Zhen's pupils shrank. He was too shocked by the laws of yin and yang. Kuan-Pengzi cultivated this kind of law, so he naturally knew how terrifying the laws of yin and yang were. He didn't dare to be careless. With a roar, his black hair danced wildly. His gaze was like a knife as he split open the sky. He slashed forward, and a sword light swept across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Everywhere it passed, laws crushed everything. A shocking sword light collided with the taiji diagram. The yin-yang chi that was scattered by the yin-yang diagram was too terrifying. The yin-yang chi rotated and destroyed everything. The world-shaking sword was shattered. The yin-yang diagram cut off one of Baijan's arms. Baijan retreated, clutching his wound. His face was full of shock. Damn it! How could he be so valiant? The 10 hunters exclaimed. Cold sweat dripped down from his forehead. The other party had such a terrifying technique. Previously, they had defeated the other party with a single move. Now, it seemed that even if the 10 of them attacked together, they would not be able to take down the other party. You're pitifully weak. You're no match for me. Lin Xian withdrew the yin-yang diagram and stood with his hands behind his back. He said, Ruzalong, I'll leave it to you. The Crimson Dragon walked out and smiled. All right, I'll teach him a lesson. He looked at the other party and waved his hand. Go all out and let me see your strength. Damn it! Baijan shouted angrily. His broken arm was restored, and his face was extremely ferocious. Kill! With a roar, he charged out. Rock seal. His palms formed imprints, forming a great pong. This was a type of extreme Dao imprint. It flickered with radiance, illuminating heaven and earth. The great pong descended from the sky. Its power was comparable to the human ruler seal. It seemed that the Dao sect's foundation was indeed strong. The Crimson Dragon snorted coldly. Divine Dragon 8 strikes. He waved his dragon claws and attacked quickly. It was as if a giant dragon had come into being, sweeping across all directions. He collided with the golden pong. The pong was torn apart by the giant dragon. Baijan spat out blood and flew backward again. His body was torn in half. Trash! What a piece of trash! The Crimson Dragon sneered. How could this be? This guy was also so strong. The 10 hunters were stunned. Lan Jiu also gasped. Baijan was so angry that he vomited blood. Damn it, not only could he not defeat Lin Xian, but he could not even defeat the snake next to him? He was really mad. Toad, he's trash. I'll leave him to you. The toad jumped out and laughed. Come, I'll teach you how to be a human. You're courting death. Baijan's eyes were red, and his killing intent was shocking. Even a toad dared to jump out at this time? Damn toad, die. Dark demonic blade. Heaven and earth darkened. A terrifying aura erupted. This blade could cut through one's soul. Lin Xian frowned. This guy actually used such a poisonous martial art. The toad sneered. Playing with poison with me? I'm your ancestor. Watch me. Toad. Big face slapping technique. The toad's body quickly shrank until it was as small as an ant. It dodged the fatal blade. At the same time, its 2 palms kept growing. It was as if they had turned into 2 mountains. It attacked from left and right, slapping Baijan's face. Boom, boom. The world shook. Baijan's face was smashed, and his teeth flew to the ground. Baijan went crazy. Smoke came out of his body. His internal organs were about to explode. The demonic aura on his body became more and more terrifying. Darkness accompanied him as if he was about to revive. In an instant, his aura erupted and broke through the seal. He recovered his late-stage Saint King cultivation. Damn ants, I'll kill you. The toad quickly retreated and pulled away. What? Did you break the seal? So you can't beat me at all. How can someone like you be a genius? I think it's better to call you trash. The Crimson Dragon sneered. Do you think you can defeat us just because you broke the seal and recovered your cultivation? Since you don't follow the rules, don't blame us for joining forces. Lin Xian also walked over. The 3 of them stared at Baijan. The aura of heaven and earth kept exploding. The 10 hunters felt their hairs stand on end. How terrifying would it be for the 3 top geniuses to attack at the same time? They were all worried for Baijan. In the Dao sect's ancient mountain, everyone's face turned ugly. Baijan was from the Dragon Palace. Now, he was being slapped in the face. He was defeated by 3 people. This was not just a slap to the other party's face. The Dragon Palace was also embarrassed. Lan Zilu snorted. In the next moment, he waved his hand and a formation appeared beside them. Their bodies disappeared into the valley. In the training ground, Baijan's aura was very heavy. Today, he had to kill the 3 of them no matter what. But at this moment, The void cracked and a cold voice sounded. "Shameless thing, stop it." Baijan's body shook when he heard the voice. Lan Jiyu also exclaimed, "Brother." A few figures descended from the sky. The one standing at the front was clad in blue armor and looked extraordinarily valiant. His aura was very terrifying. Although he was a late-stage Sage King, he was much stronger than Baijan. Even Lin Xian's brows were tightly knitted together. This person was very strong. Baijan said, "Senior brother Zilu, give me a chance. I can definitely kill the three of them." "Useless thing. Don't you know how to repent? Go back and reflect on your mistakes." Everything was planned by Baijan. But the mysterious person, Shi Changfeng, and the rest of the Skyblade sect joined forces to attack, but they couldn't do anything. Later, they attacked 4 more hunters, but it was still useless. In the end, the 10 hunters and Baijan were all defeated. Now, Baijan still wanted to attack. If Baijan were to use his true strength and be defeated by the 3 of them, the Dragon Palace would lose all face. Chapter 4763. Baijan gritted his teeth, but he had no choice. In front of Lan Zilu, he could only lower his head and turn around. He stared at Lin Xian and the others. "Brat, you're lucky this time. But when you enter the sect, I'll let you know what despair is." Hearing this threat, Lin Xian and the others sneered. A loser was nothing to be afraid of. Then, Baijan left. The 10 hunters left. Lan Zilu looked deeply at Lin Xian and the others, then disappeared as well. The test continued. There was only one last test left. That was to climb the stairway to heaven and complete the test. The pressure on the stairway was very strong. But for Lin Xian and the others, it wasn't a problem. Nalan Liang, on the other hand, felt like he was facing a great enemy. He felt like all the bones in his body were about to break. But luckily, the Toad and the Crimson Dragon helped him resist some of the pressure. The 4 of them finally succeeded in climbing the stairway to heaven. They passed the test. On the other side, Lan Jiyu also passed. Other than him, there was another person. This person's body was like a dream and was abnormally mysterious. His terrifying soul made people's scalps tingle. His appearance made the Crimson Dragon and the others frown. "Brat, this is the Dream Eater Wolf. He attacked us before. His soul is very scary." Lin Xian was surprised. He looked at the other party. He didn't expect that other than Lan Jiyu, there was another top-level Tianqiao. The Dream Eater Wolf also looked at Lin Xian. He hadn't seen this person before, but he could feel how powerful he was. Thinking of this, he sneered. His eyes shone with a dreamy light. Lin Xian felt the pressure on his soul. He snorted. Golden light exploded in his eyes, and the other party's dreamy bubble burst. The Dream Eater Wolf was surprised. To be able to break his dreamy soul, it seemed that the other party wasn't simple. He probably cultivated other eye techniques. "Interesting. What's your name?" "Lin Xian." "Lin Xian, right? Very good. I'll remember you. You deserve my special attention. After entering the sect, we'll have plenty of chances to fight." Lin Xian's group of 4, the Dream Eater Wolf, and Lan Jiyu. A total of 6 people passed the test. The others had all failed. Some of them were directly eliminated, while others were killed and died inside. Only 6 out of 1,000 people passed? That was really too little. The Toad exclaimed. Nalan Liang said, "No, it was enough. In the past, at most 1 or 2 people would pass the test. On a good day, there would only be 3 or 4. This time, it was several times more. Indeed, Lin Xian, the Toad, and the Crimson Dragon had joined forces to help Nalan Liang, which was why the number of people had increased. However, even with this being the case, only 6 people had joined. From this, one could imagine how difficult it was to enter the Dao sect. After the test, they walked out of the second door. At the same time, people from other Dao sects also appeared. Sure enough, there were 4 people at most, and only 1 at least. In fact, not a single person from the Taoist sect in the early stage of the Sage King realm had succeeded. Those who succeeded stood in the sky, receiving the attention of the crowd. Countless people looked towards Lin Xian and the others. Then, they exclaimed, "Oh my God! Look, Isn't that the arrogant brat? He had actually succeeded. Didn't he offend the Dragon Palace and wasn't targeted? What was going on? His ranking was higher than Lan Zhiyu's? Everyone looked over and was shocked. The first place was actually Lin Xian and not Lan Zhiyu. This was unbelievable. The arrogant blue-robed man and the others looked at Lin Xian with fear. Previously, they had even mocked Lin Xian. But now, they couldn't wait to run away. What was even more shocking was that there were very few people who had been eliminated from the second door. What about the others? Could it be that they all perished in there? Thinking of this, they were going crazy. What exactly had happened inside? At this moment, Lan Zilu and the others appeared again. They said coldly, "The Dao sect's test has ended. Everyone, come back next year." As for those who failed this time, they would only be able to enter the test the year after next. After speaking, he looked at Lin Xian and the others and said, "You guys can join the Dao sect if you pass." Soon, he led Lin Xian and the others inside. They had finally entered the Dao sect. The Dao sect was a place where spiritual energy and the Great Path intertwined. It was extremely terrifying and much stronger than the outside world. It was even more terrifying than the average clan of the ancients. No wonder it was an ancient inheritance. After entering, the Dao sect's disciples came to receive them. They led Lin Xian and the others to different places. The Dream Eater Wolf left immediately with this person. As for Lan Zhiyu, he left with his brother, Lan Zilu. As he left, Lan Zhiyu turned to look at Lin Xian and said coldly, "I'm sorry. This time, my ranking is lower than yours. It's not that I'm not as good as you. It's because I didn't use all my strength. Let's meet on the stars ranking." After speaking, she turned and left. On Lin Xian's side, a young man led Lin Xian and the others in another direction. They landed in a mountain range, and there was a courtyard inside. It looked very desolate. Lin Xian frowned slightly. The Crimson Dragon also said, "Is this a place for humans to live?" The young man snorted. "What? You don't like this place? Then you can find your own place." After speaking, he sneered and turned to leave. The Crimson Dragon was furious. "Stop. Speak clearly. Is someone trying to harm us?" What a joke. In a place like the Dao sect, even the ordinary disciples had a lot of resources. They were even better than the clan leaders of the other clans. But now, what they were given was not enough. How could they not be angry? "What? Do you dare to fight me? Looks like I have to teach you junior brothers a lesson." The young man sneered and pointed with his finger. Finger of death. The surrounding trees withered quickly. Heaven transformation palm. The Crimson Dragon slapped over. His dragon claws turned into a sky and broke the young man's finger. The young man retreated with an ugly expression. Damn it! How can he be so strong? What? Are you surprised? You're a subordinate of the Dragon Palace, right? Didn't anyone tell you what happened in the trial ground? You want to fight against us? The toad walked over and laughed. Tell me who ordered you to do this. Otherwise, I'll let you know what it means to live a life worse than death. The young man still wanted to resist. Lin Xian struck out a sword reaches the world and enveloped him. The few of them attacked and beat the young man into a pig's head. The young man was about to cry. He had never seen such a terrifying newcomer. Don't you know that you can't casually attack your fellow disciples in the Dao sect? You've violated the rules. You'll die a horrible death. As soon as he finished shouting, Lin Xian kicked him and almost broke his teeth. You're the one who made things difficult for us first. We were just forced to fight back. Even if the elders find out, we're in the right. Also, do you think that the Dragon Palace will care about your life for the sake of their reputation? Chapter 4764. Hearing this, the young man's expression became incomparably ugly. He was not a match for these people at all. In addition, these people's methods made him hover between life and death. He finally begged for mercy. Please let me go. I'm just following orders. It was senior brother Baizhen who told me to treat you like this. Baizhen. Hearing this name, the faces of the few people darkened. It was him again. He really didn't know what was good for him. Where was that Baizhen? Lead the way? Lin Xian snorted coldly. The young man was shocked. You want to go to see your brother by Jean's residence? He was really too shocked. Why didn't I lead the way? Then don't blame me for collecting your soul. Lin Xian's eyes flickered with a terrifying light. The young man felt a huge soul pressure, as if his soul was about to split open. No, don't do it. I'll lead the way. He had no choice but to lead the way. The Crimson Dragon and the Toad used their laws to seal him. The young man had no choice but to fly ahead. They were very fast, but the Tao sect was very vast. Even so, it took a long time to reach Baijian's residence. On the way, they met many people who were quickly gathering. When those people looked over, they were surprised. What was going on? This young man was also an expert in the Tao sect. Why was he locked up? The young man lowered his head. He even had the heart to die. He reckoned that from now on, he would really have no face to come out. Lin Xian frowned and looked around. He said that something big seemed to have happened. Nalan Liang went over to ask and then returned. He said that something big had indeed happened. Someone wanted to challenge a stars ranking expert. Who was it? This time, even the young man who was suppressed was curious. Nalan Liang said that it was Lan Jiayu. She wanted to challenge Taijin Tian, who was ranked 90th on the new stars ranking. This was impossible. The young man roared crazily, his face full of disbelief. The Crimson Dragon slapped him. What did he say? What was going on? What was the stars ranking? Why did you think it was impossible? The young man had already been suppressed. At this moment, he could only answer honestly. He said, in the Tao sect, there were 3 rankings. They were the stars ranking, the jade ranking, and the Xin ranking. The 3 rankings corresponded to Middle Holy King, Late Holy King, and Peak Holy King respectively. Even though the Tao sect would only search for a few disciples each time, they would recruit new disciples every year. Furthermore, the Tao sect had a long history. Therefore, there were many people who joined the Tao sect. In order to enter the stars ranking, one had to be a Middle Holy King in the True Path sect and be ranked in the top 100. Such strength was terrifying. It was impossible for a newcomer to succeed. It could only be said that he was courting death. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. It seemed that the people on the stars ranking were all in the middle stage of the Holy King realm. They should be terrifying existences. That's right, the young man said proudly. Those on the stars ranking were all geniuses who could fight above their level. Killing Saint Kings and Peak Saint Kings was a piece of cake. It was to the extent where some of them could kill more than one. What kind of power was this? He was definitely not someone a newcomer could compare to. The Crimson Dragon's interest was piqued. In that case, let's go and take a look. Lin Xian nodded. All right, lead the way. The young man was on the verge of tears. He was now a prisoner and did not want to be seen by others. However, this challenge would probably be watched by countless people. If he went, wouldn't he be laughed at? He wanted to retreat, but when he saw Lin Xian's cold eyes, his scalp went numb. He could only brace himself and fly forward. The few of them landed on a mountain peak. There were many people standing on the surrounding mountain peaks and on the ground. There was an ancient battlefield in front of them. On the battlefield, a woman stood with her hands behind her back. The icy aura on her body formed a world of ice. What a terrifying icy aura. Many people around were shocked. This newcomer was really too strong. However, there were also people who said that she did not know her limits. This was the Tao sect. It was not a place where a newcomer could behave atrociously. I think she will lose in 3 moves this time. The person who spoke was also an expert on the stars ranking. When he said this, the others nodded. The stars ranking was not something that anyone could challenge. At this moment, a voice sneered. What do you know? This Lan Jiyu was not an ordinary person. Everyone turned around and wanted to refute. However, when they saw the person, their faces changed. He was from the Dragon Palace. Moreover, he was on the Jade ranking. His strength was much stronger than theirs. The expert on the Jade ranking said, Lan Jiyu was Zilu's sister. Do you think her talent is bad? So that was the case. The crowd was in an uproar. No wonder this woman was so arrogant. She was Lan Zilu's sister. Lan Zilu was one of the experts from the Dragon Palace. He was also an expert on the Jade ranking. He was ranked 36th on the Jade ranking. His strength was terrifying. They could not be compared to him. As expected, the surrounding people did not speak anymore. Even the expert on the stars ranking who spoke earlier apologized immediately. He said that he did not recognize Mount Tai. I will let you off this time. The expert on the jade ranking sneered. He turned around and flew towards the mountain peak. Over there, Lon Zilu and the people from the Dragon Palace stood with their hands behind their backs. Seems like Zilu's sister is going to win this time. One of them laughed. Another person said, that's for sure. She is going to challenge the 90th ranked one. Nothing will go wrong. I think with her strength, it is possible for her to challenge the 80th ranked one. After this battle, I think we can let Zilf come to the Dragon Palace. Lon Zilu nodded his head slightly. He had nothing to worry about in this battle. Then, he frowned and looked at the figures in the distance. Those guys. He was looking at Lin Xian and the rest. The other people from the Dragon Palace saw them too. Their faces turned cold. They had seen everything these fellows had done through the array formation. It was truly shocking. Senior brother Zilu, do you want me to teach them a lesson? Lon Zilu said. There was no hurry. We have time. If we take action now, people will think that the Dragon Palace is too stingy. They understood. The surrounding people laughed. They would take action in a few months. By then, everyone would forget about this matter. They would not say anything about the Dragon Palace. In this way, the reputation of the Dragon Palace would not be damaged. Lon Zilu continued to ask, what about Baijin? When he said this, his eyes turned cold. It's all because of this good-for-nothing. Otherwise, why would there be so much trouble? Baijin said that he went out to accept a mission. I think he wants to avoid the punishment. If he messes up, let's see how he will explain it when he comes back. Can he avoid it? Lon Zilu snorted. If it were not for his sister, who was an expert on the jade ranking, he would have chased him out of the Dragon Palace. Senior brother Zilu, you don't have to be angry with such a person. Look, Zilu's sister's battle has started. On the battlefield, other than Lon Zilu, there was another tall man. He was wearing black iron battle armor and had a terrifying aura. Chapter 4765. Tai Jintian's face was cold. Today, he was cultivating at the bottom of the lake. But suddenly, he received news that someone wanted to challenge him. Moreover, it was a newcomer who had just entered the sect. Tai Jintian couldn't believe it. Although he was only ranked 90th on the stars ranking, he was at the bottom. But to be able to enter the stars ranking, there was a huge difference between him and the others. The other party had just entered and challenged him. He could only say that he was courting death. But later on, someone told him that this person was Lon Zilu's sister. He naturally knew about Lon Zilu. His face immediately turned gloomy. So it was because of his identity. So what? Tai Jintian regained his senses and looked at the blue figure in front of him. He said coldly, although you're Lon Zilu's sister, I won't hold back today. Show me what you've got. Lon Jiyu snorted. You don't have to worry. I'm not someone who lives because of my brother's reputation. I'm a top genius. I'll let you know my true strength. With that, Lon Jiyu threw out a punch. This attack was like a snow lotus, bringing with it boundless cold air. Tai Jintian roared and attacked as well. He waved his fists, which had the power to destroy heaven and earth. The two instantly engaged in a terrifying battle. Lon Jiyu was an ice saint. Once she used her ice law, she could seal heaven and earth. As for Tai Jintian, his iron fist could break the dome of heaven. This was a powerhouse. In the blink of an eye, 50 moves had passed. The spectators were shocked. Although Lon Jiyu was Lon Zilu's sister, they didn't think that she could win easily. In their opinion, she might have been defeated long ago. But after 50 moves, she wasn't at a disadvantage. More importantly, they realized that Tai Jintian didn't hold back at all. This was even more shocking. Could it be that Lon Jiyu was really that terrifying? On the 100th move, Lon Jiyu waved her hand, and a world of ice and snow appeared. The terrifying world of ice descended and completely sealed Tai Jintian in ice. This time, Tai Jintian couldn't rush out. His eyes were wide open and filled with shock. Was he going to be defeated just like that? The spectators exclaimed. Tai Jintian lost. Lon Jiyu won. This was too unbelievable. The experts on the stars ranking were shocked. It seemed like a heaven-defying genius had arrived. They had to be careful in the future. The people from Dragon Palace raised the corners of their mouths with a smile. Lon Zilu nodded slightly. Everything was under his control. The next moment, he swayed his body and walked forward. The people of Dragon Palace followed closely behind. Lon Zilu waved his hand, and the world of ice and snow melted. Taijintian, who was sealed in ice, was released. When he came out, his entire body was green from the cold. If this dragged on, his internal organs would suffer from frostbite, and his foundation would be damaged. After he came out, he looked at Lon Jiyu and said, "Fairy Jiyu, I admit defeat." Then he looked at Lon Zilu. "Many thanks to senior apprentice brother Zilu for saving me." He turned and left. Although he had lost this battle, he had lost wholeheartedly. His opponent was very strong. "How are you? Are you hurt?" Lon Zilu asked. Lon Jiyu shook his head. "No, I still held back some of my strength. Thinking about it, with my true strength, I should be able to reach the 85th rank." Once this was said, the surrounding people were in an uproar. This Lon Jiyu was really too strong. He was simply the second Lon Zilu. He might even be more talented than Lon Zilu. The people from Dragon Palace also laughed. "Sister Jiyu, your talent is definitely the best among the middle-stage Saint Kings. But this time, you should have come in first place. That Lin Xian who came in first place is nothing. He is nothing in front of you. Don't worry, you will soon leave him far behind." The surrounding people were also discussing spiritedly. They knew that Lon Jiyu didn't come in first place this time. The first place belonged to someone else. It was a person called Lin Xian. Now that Lon Jiyu was so strong, how terrifying was that Lin Xian? They were all guessing. But when they heard Dragon Palace's words, they were shocked. So Lon Jiyu should be first. That Lin Xian must have used some despicable method to get first place. Sure enough, someone said that if that Lin Xian was really strong, he would definitely be like Fairy Jiyu and challenge the people on the stars ranking. But where was he now? That's right, he was just an ordinary genius. He would soon be buried in the crowd. Fairy Jiyu was the most dazzling genius. Compliments were heard one after another. On the mountain peak in the distance, the Toad and Crimson Dragon were so angry that their faces turned black. "Damn it! What's there to be arrogant about? She was first. What kind of joke was that? Did she dare to fight with us back then? Kid, do you want to teach her a lesson? We will also challenge the stars ranking." The Crimson Dragon gritted his teeth. Lin Xian waved his hand to stop him. "Forget it, we have other things to do. Let's go." With that, he turned and left with the youth. "Bring us to Bai Zhen's residence." The group of people passed through countless mountain ranges and finally arrived in front of a spiritual mountain. There was a supreme-grade spiritual vein under this spiritual mountain. They could feel the rich aura of the great Tao just by standing outside. The Crimson Dragon's eyes lit up. It was really a good place. This Bai Zhen's residence was not bad. The Toad also nodded. This would be their new home in the future. "I think this place is not bad either," Lin Xian also said. The residence that was assigned to them was too desolate. It was not a place to cultivate at all. This time, they would not let Bai Zhen go. "Bai Zhen, get out here." The Crimson Dragon's roar echoed inside. Countless matrices lit up. Someone rushed out of Bai Zhen's residence. Who was so bold? There were many experts inside. Not only were there young battle servants, but there were also old housekeepers. They looked at the figures outside and frowned. "Who are you? How dare you come here and behave atrociously? Do you know whose residence this is? We are here for Bai Zhen. Where is he? Tell him to get out here and die." The Toad snorted. "Not good. They are here for young Master Bai Zhen." The expressions of the people inside changed. Then, they said, "Young Master Bai Zhen is not here. If you have anything to do, come back later." As they spoke, they were about to chase them away. The Crimson Dragon sneered. "Not here? I think he doesn't dare to come out." He walked forward. "How dare you?" The old housekeeper shouted angrily and formed an array to prevent them from coming in. The array flickered and covered the sky and earth. Using an array in front of Ben Huang? The crimson dragon sneered and waved his dragon claws, constantly breaking the array. The surrounding array cracked. On Lin Xian's side, he led his people. With a flash, the void beast teleported them inside. He came to the residence and looked in all directions, enveloping the entire residence. Chapter 4766. The people in the mansion were all stunned. Who were these people? They were too terrifying. They could break their formation so easily. Kid, how was it? Did you find that guy? The Crimson Dragon asked. Lin Xian frowned slightly. He really wasn't there. With his soul eye technique, he could see through the entire mansion in an instant. He really couldn't find Bai Zhen's figure. Where did he go? The toad stared at the old butler. The old butler said, Young Master Bai went out to carry out a mission. This is his mansion. Hurry up and get lost. Get lost. The toad sent the old butler flying with a slap. This place is ours from now on. What? The old butler vomited blood and flew back. The others were even more shocked. These people wanted to force their way in? Lin Xian stood in front and said, We are people who entered the Dao sect. Logically speaking, we should be assigned to our own mansions. But Bai Zhen used his status to give us a desolate place that isn't suitable for cultivation. Even if you go to the elders, we have the reason. Hurry up and get lost. Call Bai Zhen over and let him kneel and accept his death. The people in the mansion were all stunned. These newcomers were too arrogant. Attack together. The old butler shouted angrily. The battle servants in the surroundings all charged forward. There were more than 20 battle servants under Bai Zhen. It was really terrifying, but it was useless. In the blink of an eye, they were suppressed by the toad and the crimson dragon. Lin Xian made his move and crippled their cultivation right away. These people were desperate. Without their cultivation, they were no different from ants. In this world where the strong were respected, they were probably living a life worse than death. Brother Bai, are you there? I have something to tell you. At this moment, a loud and clear voice rang out from afar. Then, a figure stood in the 9 heavens. This man only had one eye. He wore a purple robe and had short hair. He looked very capable. After he arrived, he began to descend. Below, the old butler and the others knelt on the ground and kowtowed. Young Master Imo, please avenge us. This guy crippled us and wanted to kill young Master Bai. Young Master Imo, please suppress them. Hearing this, Imo Du Xing frowned. He even suspected that he had misheard. Who were these people? How could they be so bold? Where did you come from? You dare to behave atrociously in the Dao sect? Imo Du Xing's eyes bloomed with killing intent. Toad stood out and snorted coldly. Why? We're also Dao sect disciples. Can't we do that? Young Master Imo and the others had just joined the Dao sect and were a group of newcomers. When they asked young Master Imo to take action, the old housekeeper roared. Lin Xian coldly snorted. Previously, I had only crippled you and given you a way out. But you actually acted so recklessly. You want someone else to kill me? If that's the case, there's no need for you to continue living. Golden light blossomed from his eyes and instantly extinguished the old butler's soul. The old housekeeper let out a blood-curdling scream. His heart and soul were extinguished, and he fell to the ground. Not only that, but the souls of more than 20 battle servants in the vicinity were also instantly killed. You dare to make a move? Imo Du Xing roared. He wanted to stop him, but it was too late. His heart trembled. What a terrifying soul this fellow had. He had actually killed these people in an instant. However, he was thoroughly enraged. Attacking these people in front of him, was this a challenge to him? Kid, newcomers to the Dao sect really don't know the rules. Today, I'll tell you the rules of the Dao sect. The rules of the Dao sect? Lin Xian smiled. All right, then let me ask you. We entered the Dao sect as the first place of the test. Did we just come here to be bullied? Bai Zhen gave us a desolate cultivation residence. Do you think this is in accordance with the rules of the Dao sect? There was such a thing. Imo Du Xing was stunned. His face turned cold. Toad sneered. Why aren't you speaking? You also know that Bai Zhen doesn't follow the rules? He even tried to kill us with his hunters. He has already broken the rules time and time again. Why should we talk about rules with him? Mo Duxing coldly snorted. Even if he didn't follow the rules, there would naturally be people who would take care of him. But you guys are acting recklessly. I want to see where you get your strength from. What do you want? Lin Xian frowned. I'll suppress you and send you to the elders. You guys don't have the right to enter the Tao sect. After speaking, he stretched out a palm. The mountains and rivers were picturesque. His palm formed a seal. Countless laws condensed and formed a painting of mountains and rivers. It was like a real world, enveloping Lin Xian and the rest. The young man behind Lin Xian exclaimed, "Not good. Retreat quickly. He is Mo Duxing, ranked 81st on the stars list. He is very powerful. You guys are no match for him. Hurry up and admit defeat." Nalan Liang was shocked. 81st on the stars list. This is too unbelievable. Previously, Lan Jiayu had only challenged someone ranked 90th on the stars list. That person was already so terrifying. This 81st must have completely surpassed that Taijin Tian. Could they really withstand him? However, when he thought of the legends of Lin Xian, the Crimson Dragon, and the rest, he took a deep breath. Perhaps these people could continue to create miracles. Being enveloped by the painting of mountains and rivers, Mo Duxing coldly snorted. Newcomers are newcomers. They have no ability to resist in front of me. This is a lesson for you. From now on, you will never be able to enter the Tao sect. As he spoke, he wanted to leave with the painting of mountains and rivers. It seemed like he wanted to refine Lin Xian and the rest. A mere saint realm wants to trap us. Don't you think it's too laughable? Within the painting of mountains and rivers, Lin Xian felt the terrifying power of laws around him. He snorted coldly. A golden light appeared in his eyes, turning into a divine sword, sweeping in all directions. Boom, boom. Within the painting of mountains and rivers, heaven and earth were turned upside down. It seemed like it could not withstand this gaze. How is this possible? Mo Duxing turned around with a shocked expression. This guy can shake his painting of mountains and rivers. Seems like I underestimated you. No wonder you dare to come here and behave so atrociously. So you are not an ordinary genius. But so what? He formed another seal with his palm and shouted coldly, "Move the mountains and fill the seas." The shattered mountains and rivers gathered again. Not only that, they became even more terrifying. They wanted to completely suppress Lin Xian and the rest. I see. I destroy. Lin Xian's gaze swept across. Golden flames flew out, burning everything in its path. Divine fire, burning the 9 heavens. At this moment, the painting of mountains and rivers was completely shattered, turning into ashes in the raging flames. Puff. Mo Duxing vomited blood and flew backward. His face was pale and his body trembled. How is this possible? You broke my painting of mountains and rivers. He could not accept it. The young man suppressed by Lin Xian was even more frightened. He was so frightened that he almost fainted. This is Mo Duxing, ranked 81st. He is much stronger than Taijin Shan. The painting of mountains and rivers is his ultimate technique. But at this moment, he can't even withstand a single gaze from the other party? Just what kind of divine being was this? He has never seen such strength before. Chapter 4767. Who exactly are you? Mo Duxing gritted his teeth and asked. He couldn't believe that a newcomer could be so powerful. I'm Lin Xian. Go back and tell Baijian to come here and accept his death. Mo Duxing gritted his teeth and snorted. He turned and left. Lin Xian didn't stop him because he knew the rules of the sect. Fighting was fine, but killing was not allowed. Unless both sides had a life and death battle, and it had to be agreed. But even if he didn't kill, he would still do the same. He could establish his dominance. With a wave of his hand, the 9 suns' divine fire appeared and burned the bodies of the old butler and the battle servants to ashes. He said to the Crimson Dragon and the others, "Tidy up. From now on, this will be our residence." On the other side, Mo Duxing left Baijian's residence and flew into the distance. His face was extremely ugly. This time, He had come to find Bai Zhen for something. Who would have thought that he would meet such a terrifying opponent? Lin Xian. He remembered this person. This person was very strong. When he broke through, he would definitely challenge him again. As he thought, he quickly swallowed pills. This time, he suffered a backlash from the divine power. But fortunately, he was ranked 81st on the stars ranking. He was given a lot of resources and pills every month. He took out a bottle of healing pills and swallowed them. On the way, he passed by the ancient battlefield. The people around him hadn't left yet. They were discussing. Mo Duxing was stunned. He stopped and asked, "What happened here?" Seeing this, the people around him quickly bowed and greeted senior brother Mo. There was a challenge here earlier. A newcomer, Lan Jiayu, challenged Tai Jintian, who was ranked 90th on the new stars ranking. In the end, she won and replaced Tai Jintian. Mo Duxing was stunned when he heard this. Another newcomer? What's wrong this time? Why are there so many terrifying newcomers? The other disciples saw this and said, "Senior brother Mo, don't worry. This Lan Jiyu's background is not ordinary. She is senior brother Lan Zilu's sister and a top genius of the Blue Clan." Moreover, although she wasn't first this time, it was said that the first place, Lin Xian, used despicable means to win. This Lan Jiyu was the true number one. That's right, that Lin Xian can't even compare to Fairy Zheyu. I don't think he'll be able to enter the stars ranking in this lifetime. The group of people nodded. Hearing this, Mo Duxing's face turned black and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Lin Xian, why did this name sound so familiar? Wasn't that the young man who had defeated him with a single glance? The other party would never be able to enter the stars ranking? What kind of joke was this? The other party was so terrifying. He was definitely not someone that Lan Jiyu could compare to. Senior brother Mo, what happened to you? Are you hurt? The surrounding disciples were all shocked. The person before him was ranked 81st on the stars ranking. He was much more terrifying than Tai Jintian. Who was it that could injure him? Mo Duxing gritted his teeth. What could he say? Could he say that he was defeated by a single look from Lin Xian? That would be too embarrassing. You don't have to pay attention to the relapse of your old injuries. After saying that, he waved his sleeve and turned to leave. So it's a relapse of an old injury. I heard that my senior brother went through a very difficult mission before. Perhaps he was injured during that battle. The group of disciples discussed here. They didn't know that the one who had defeated Mo Duxing was the Lin Xian that they didn't think highly of. Moreover, he had been defeated by Lin Xian in one move. What kind of expression would these people have when they knew the truth? The news of Lan Jiyu's successful challenge spread out instantly. In an instant, the entire Dao sect knew that an extremely terrifying genius had arrived. Her name was Lan Jiyu, and her future was limitless. At the same time, they also knew that Lin Xian, who had come in first in the assessment, had used despicable means. Of course, the reason why the news had spread so widely was definitely because the Dragon Palace had secretly done something. They wanted to suppress Lin Xian. They wanted to build momentum for Lan Jiyu. Baizhen Mansion had become the mansion of Lin Xian and the others. The young man who had been suppressed before had been taught a lesson and tortured by them, and then became their subordinate. Nalan Liang went out to investigate. When he came back, his face was a bit ugly. Damn it. These guys said that the police were despicable. Don't they know that the Dragon Palace is the despicable one? The Crimson Dragon and the others also gritted their teeth. Wasn't it just challenging the 90th person? Lin Xian had destroyed the 81st person with one look. Don't these people know? The young man who had been suppressed by them was called Yu Ran. At this moment, he was also impressed by Lin Xian's strength and said respectfully, Lin Gongzi defeated Mo Duxing before. Only a few of us saw it. No one else saw it. Mo Duxing definitely wouldn't say it out, so it's normal that no one knows. With young master's strength, if he wants to become famous, he can directly challenge them. Go to the ancient battlefield to fight. At that time, the entire Dao sect will know. Kid, with your strength, you can take down the stars list in minutes. The toad said. Nalan Liang and the others also nodded. However, Lin Xian shook his head. He wasn't interested. The Crimson Dragon asked, Is the new list too weak? Why don't you challenge the Jade list? At that time, You can directly take down the Jade list. Let's see if these people still dare to be arrogant. However, Lin Xian still shook his head. He wasn't interested. The Crimson Dragon gasped. You can't be thinking of directly challenging the Xian list, right? Yuran was also stunned. The Xian list. Those people on the Xian list, the top ones, were all existences that could contend with great saints. Such people were so heaven-defying that they stood at the peak of the Saint King realm. Although Lin Xian was strong, he was after all an early-stage Saint King. Moreover, the gap between the Stars list and the Xian list was really too big. Lin Xian said, "My goal is not these lists, but the Sacred Abyss Tower. I want to directly challenge the Sacred Abyss Tower." In the past few days, through Yuren's introduction, he also understood that the three places of inheritance all had the Stars list, Jade list, and Xian list, which represented the strength of the disciples in each orthodoxy. In addition, there was also the Sacred Abyss Glory list. It wasn't limited to the three orthodoxies, but the experts in the entire Sacred Abyss city. The Sacred Abyss Glory list was ranked according to the strength ranking in the Sacred Abyss Tower. The current number 1 was Kuanping Zi, Bei Ming. He had successfully reached the top and was crowned as the King of the Crown. He was currently number 1. The second on the Glory list was the Dragon Prince, Long Wu. These two people were far superior to the others. There were a total of 99 floors in the Sacred Abyss Tower. As long as one could successfully reach a floor, they would be able to enter the list. As the number of floors increased, the speed of improvement and various comprehensive data would be displayed. The ranking would be carried out. Lin Xian's goal was to become a great emperor. Moreover, he didn't care about ordinary genius experts. He wanted to compete with top experts like the Dragon Prince and Kuanping Zi. Therefore, Lin Xian didn't plan to compete for the top 3 rankings in the Feng Dao sect. Instead, he wanted to directly challenge the Sacred Abyss Glory list. Chapter 4768. Nalin Liang and the rest gasped when they heard that. To be honest, their current goal was the Star ranking or the Jade ranking. They didn't even dare to think about the Xian ranking. However, Lin Xian's goal was the Sacred Abyss Tower. It had to be said that they were from 2 different worlds. Kid, you have your own ideas. However, if you don't want to go to the Star ranking or Xian ranking, then we'll start. The Crimson Dragon said. Lin Xian nodded. Sure, be careful. We're still accumulating strength. Don't find trouble with the Dragon Prince right away. His realm is too high now. Let's strengthen ourselves first. It's best to establish our own organization and dismantle the Dragon Palace bit by bit. Believe me, both the Dragon Palace and the Dragon Prince will go to hell. Yeah, the Crimson Dragon nodded. They then prepared to split up. Yuren stayed behind to wait for Baijian. After all, Baijian had used his identity to confiscate their residence and their resources as newcomers. When they returned, they would settle the score. They would let Baijian know what regret was. Lin Xian left the Path Sect and headed to the Sacred Abyss Tower. The Sacred Abyss Tower was very famous in the Sacred Abyss ancient city. It hung above the 9 heavens and could be seen without asking anyone. Lin Xian flew all the way to the Sacred Abyss Tower and finally arrived near it. He felt the terrifying aura coming from above and took a deep breath. There weren't many people around because not many people had the strength to come to the Sacred Abyss Tower. However, each of them was very powerful. Lin Xian, who was a mid-stage Saint King, immediately attracted attention. A few gazes looked over and discussed. Some people sneered. How dare he come to the Sacred Abyss Tower with such a cultivation? He must be tired of living. In their opinion, even if you were a top genius, you should at least be at the peak of the Saint King realm. At the very least, you should be a late-stage Saint King realm. A mid-stage Saint King realm was too difficult. It was not enough. The few people in front were arrogant as they moved forward quickly. Lin Xian looked calm and ignored them. How could ants know what a dragon was thinking? When he arrived at the Sacred Abyss Tower, he was stopped because entering the Sacred Abyss Tower required Saint Crystals. He didn't know that. Yuren didn't tell him, but thinking about it, it made sense. With Yuren's strength, his goal in life was probably the Stars ranking or the Jade ranking. The Holy Abyss Tower was something that the other party had never thought about, so naturally, he wouldn't pay attention to. Of course, he didn't know what the conditions were. Lin Xian frowned slightly. The people who had been mocking him stopped once more and turned their heads to look at him. They all began to laugh. Haha, I'm dying of laughter. This brat doesn't even have Saint crystals, yet he wants to come to the Holy Gulf Tower. I don't know which mountain he came from, but he came here to try his luck after knowing that the sacred Abyss Tower is a holy land. However, how could there be such a good thing in this world? A person like him probably wouldn't have the qualifications to enter this place in his entire life. The two people in front of him sneered and looked down on him. Lin Xian raised his head, golden light flashing in his eyes. Boom. Puff. A powerful soul pressure instantly rushed out. Their souls shook, as if they were being torn apart. Both of them coughed out blood and retreated, their faces turning pale. Damned ant, you dare to sneak attack me? Do you believe that I won't kill you? The murderous aura of the two men was overflowing. There was even a dragon aura surrounding them. The surrounding people were also shocked. Someone actually dared to attack outside the Holy Gulf Tower? Lin Xian was also surprised. These people actually had the aura of the Tao of Dragon. Were they from the Dragon Clan? However, he quickly denied that possibility. They weren't from the Dragon Clan, but from the looks of it, they should be from the Tao sect or the Dragon Palace. It seemed that the Dragon Prince must have given these people benefits when he established the Dragon Palace. His guess was right. The Dragon Palace was established by the sacred Dragon Prince. The surrounding people had joined the Dragon Palace to follow the Dragon Prince. However, they also had to get benefits. Otherwise, no one would follow the Dragon Prince. Therefore, entering the Dragon Palace would give one the power of the Dragon Aura. The greater the contribution to the Dragon Palace, the more Dragon Aura one would get. Those who made outstanding contributions would even be taught the Dragon Clan's secret arts by the Dragon Prince. The two people in front were indeed from the Dragon Palace. One was called Zhou Feng, and the other was called Qing Lu. Both of them had terrifying strength and were on the Xin ranking. They were also super experts in the Dragon Palace. When had they ever suffered such injuries? At this moment, they were enraged. Damn brat, how dare you sneak attack us? Lin Xian sneered. Am I not an ant in your eyes? You are high and mighty. Why would you be afraid of an ant sneak attack? Since you were injured by me, it means that you aren't much. What right do you have to look down on me? Zhou Feng and Qing Lu were trembling with anger. Arrogant, too arrogant. Brat, offending us will end badly for you. The two of them walked up, releasing a sharp killing intent. The surrounding people were also surprised. They didn't expect Lin Xian's soul to be so strong. However, they soon shook their heads and sighed. They knew Zhou Feng and Qing Lu. They were both experts at the peak of the Saint King realm. If the two of them worked together to deal with a mid-stage Saint King, the other party would definitely not be able to resist. Lin Xian's face darkened. Were they from the Dragon Palace? He didn't mind killing them here. Stop. However, at this moment, a cold shout was heard. A man walked out of the Holy Gulf Tower. He was wearing a flaming armor and had a powerful aura. Zhou Feng and Qing Lu were shocked. They quickly bowed and greeted Divine General Shang Yuan. The others also bowed. Divine General Shang Yuan. It was a title for the people responsible for the safety and order of the Holy Gulf Tower. They all had different origins. Some came from great sects, some from ancient families, and some even came from the three great orthodoxies. However, ever since they joined the Holy Gulf Tower and became Divine General Shang Yuan, they only had one identity, and that was Divine General. Everything they did was to protect the safety of the Holy Gulf Tower. Now that there was a fight outside, Divine General Shang Yuan walked out. How dare you cause trouble here? He said coldly. Zhou Feng and Qing Lu's scalp went numb. We wouldn't dare. It was this brat who attacked first. Divine General Shang Yuan looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said with a fist salute. Greetings, senior. This is my first time in the Holy Gulf Tower and I don't know the rules. The two of them provoked me first. Isn't the purpose of cultivation to be indomitable and to surpass everything? They should be killed for doubting me. The surrounding people were shocked. This brat was bold to say such arrogant words in front of Divine General Shang Yuan. However, Divine General Shang Yuan was stunned and nodded slightly. He was unyielding and neither servile nor overbearing. The path of martial arts was the wind. It was rare to see such a proud young man. Since it's your first time here and you don't know the rules, I won't pursue this matter. The surrounding people went crazy when they heard this. In the past, there were people who attacked near the Holy Gulf Tower, but they were immediately killed by Divine General Shang Yuan. They didn't expect to let this brat go this time. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.